The only thing worse than this mustache is watching the Raiders try to play football over and over and over again. I'm Mitchell Renz here, host of the Raiders Report, and we're live. It's Overreaction Monday, and man, I'll tell you what, when you sit down for an entire day and you get hyped up to watch not only Josh McDaniels try to do his thing, but you just watch the entire game from start to finish, it makes me want to go clinically insane. So how about this? I'm going to try to pass along some smiles today no matter what, which is why we're going to be doing a duck race 50-50 raffle. Besides that, it's going to be a lot of overreactions. It's going to be a lot of craziness because when you lose the way that the Raiders have lost since Josh McDaniels has taken over as a head coach, there's going to be a lot of frustrations on Monday. So coming up here live on today's show, McDaniels will never, ever be a good head coach. And until Mark Davis wakes the hell up and realizes that, we're going to be living in a nightmare for quite some time. The next thing that we're going to debate, should the Raiders start Aidan O'Connell or Jimmy Garoppolo in Week 5? McDaniels spoke today to the media and said that as soon as Jimmy Garoppolo passes concussion protocol, that he's going to be the Raiders' starting quarterback. However, is Josh McDaniels making the right decision there? We're going to have a debate. As always, if you want to get your questions, your comments here on the show, you can use hashtag Raiders or Super Chat if you need to vent. But you know what? We got to welcome in my good buddy here rocking his Astros jersey. You can have a little bit of fun. Everybody welcome in Jeremy Chuggs!
Raider Nation, what's going on?
Oh, man. Do you believe in Josh McDaniels? Yes or no? And if you haven't voted yet at the live poll, who would you start?
No. McDaniels has got to go.
It's literally just going to be like, no, hell no. From Powered by Me, I got Buckethead, Don Wiggins, Juan Hernandez, what up, Adam Martinez, Tadashi,
No.
Leonardo, Truman, and Big Island.
McDaniels, no.
Seriously, McDaniels needs to go home. He just needs... I know we always say Marshall needs to go home. McDaniels needs to go home.
Josh McDaniels, go home.
Seriously. What up, Tadashi? What's up, Buddy Bear, Queen Sarah, Otto, Patriga? Bottom line is this. Nobody that breathes silver and black, nobody that bleeds silver and black believes that Josh McDaniels is going to have the ability to get it done. So, Mark Davis, I hope you finally listen to your fan base. Jeremy, I don't know if you saw the video I posted on my Twitter. If you guys want to go check it out, it's at Mitchell Renz 365. A Raider fan is literally just looking at Mark Davis, chanting F McDaniels, which, first off, I'm surprised that Mark's even sitting that close to people because...
Well, as Petey said earlier,
it's ballsy.
He's cash poor. He can't afford the luxury suites at Allegiant. So
it's so fine. But no, hey, I get it, man.
Yeah, I told you every show there's one comment.
Every comment?
I already saw it. Chuggs has halitosis.
I don't even know what that means.
I had to look it up. It means I have bad breath.
What's up, guys?
Hey.
You're not the person that we're trying to get to go home. We're trying to get McDaniels to go home.
I'm all in on sending McDaniels home.
Dude, McDaniels
bro.
Only if he goes home with Rebel, though.
That's it, though. That's the only way.
I'm telling you, McDaniels, kind of sad that he couldn't get better seats to his own team. And I'll tell you why. The main reason why McDaniels couldn't get better seats to the Raiders versus Chargers game at SoFi.
Yep.
He wasn't using game time.
That's probably the biggest reason why.
He wasn't using game time.
If there's
he got
any
shitty seats.
You're good. Go.
He got shitty seats because he decided to use another ticketing app where he couldn't see the tickets before he even bought them. And he got there and he was like, shit, I'm right here with the poor people.
It's what happens, I guess, when you're the owner of the Raiders. You can't make any money. But, hey, shout out to Raider Nation. Again, we got an awesome sponsor here on today's live show. I want to show some love to Game Time. And I know there's a lot of Raider fans out there like, Mitch, dude, I don't even know if I want to go watch the Raiders play. Well, luckily for you, there's a lot of other things that you can do on the Game Time app. Maybe like concerts, baseball, basketball. I mean, there's other great events that you can do in Las Vegas. The WNBA team, they might be the best thing going on right now in Vegas. The Golden Knights, very entertaining to be able to watch them as well. So, Nation, create an account. Redeem code RaidersChat for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. For me personally, I think when you think about what Las Vegas is in general, right? Las Vegas to me is a city that if you're going to go there with all these plans, that's fine. But you need to know that in a snap of a finger, your plans can change. And Game Time, the reason why it's my favorite ticketing app out there is because, I don't know, I like to shoot from the hip. If I show up to Las Vegas and I want to change my mind at the last minute, I like to be able to do that. And that's why Game Time really steps their game up here. Maybe that's why they're called Game Time. I don't know. But they step up their game, and you can get really cheap tickets at the last minute. And we're hooking you guys up here, $20 off with code RaidersChat. So download the Game Time app, create an account, use code RaidersChat for $20 off your first purchase. Again, terms apply. Create an account, redeem code RaidersChat for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. That link's going to be available to you guys down in the comments and in the description of today's show. All right, let's keep it rolling here live on Overreaction Monday here on the Raiders Report. Got a super
Rebel
chat.
Might have used the Game Time app because he was at the game at SoFi.
How much dead money if McDonuts gets fired? I have no idea. And that's kind of one of the craziest things that Mark Davis and the Raiders have done. In terms of contract details out on Josh McDaniels and Dave Ziegler, there's not really anything out there, and the Raiders are really trying to hide this a little bit, and I don't believe that they're paying John Gruden because of the whole email thing, but if they fire, I mean, if you're Mark Davis, you got to do the smart business decision. Like, sure, you're going to be out some money on McDaniels, and you're probably going to be out some money on Dave Ziegler if you decide to move on from him, but you're going to be out a lot more money if you continue to let this snowball, and Josh McDaniels' last 43 games that he has been a head coach, Jeremy. Last 43 games. Also, reminder, for those that don't know, when he started with the Broncos, they started out 6-0. Then there was the thing that came out of him getting caught cheating, got in trouble. After he got caught cheating, the next 43 games, he's 12-31.
I can't stand cheaters.
He's 12-31.
Cheaters are the absolute worst. Am I right, Harry?
Yeah.
Like, if you cheat in sports, shame on you. Shame on you.
For those that don't know, he's trolling because he's wearing an Astros jersey.
I'm not.
Yeah, no, I didn't think so.
Not at all.
Let's go to Raging Bull. Say it with me, ladies and gentlemen. Josh McDaniels, you're fired.
McDaniels, you're fired.
You're fired. I don't like that guy either, but you know what? I would rather have Donald Trump as the Raiders head coach right now.
How electric would that sideline be?
What?
Raiders are short. He just goes up to the ref. You're an idiot. You don't know what you're talking about. Flag on you. It's first down.
I mean,
go out there. It's first down already. We called it. No takesies backsies. We called it.
You could name any person alive, anybody with a pulse right now, and I genuinely think that they could do a better job than what Josh McDaniels is trying to
Trump
do.
Before the game, Aidan O'Connell, he's the best quarterback I've ever seen. One of the best quarterbacks in the entire league. After the game, Aidan O'Connell, he's a dog. His wife sucks.
Holy shit. Somebody said, Mitch, are you a lib? Honestly, I am as neutral as they come. If I was a car, I would be put in neutral all the time.
He's not red, he's not blue, he's silver and black.
There you go.
Adam Martinez, you're up.
Adam Martinez is both. What's up, fellas? Always love being here. Wouldn't want to be anywhere else. What's more likely? McDaniels gets fired or Davis keeps him around for a couple or a complete overhaul? I mean, to me, I don't think that Josh McDaniels is going to go anywhere this season. Now, after the year, that could be a totally different conversation. Like, people could say what they want, and I can say it up here too and say that the Raiders aren't going to fire McDaniels, and that's what I thought because I didn't view this team as being a team that's going to be where they currently are at. But if they keep playing the way that they are, they have a legitimate shot at a top 5 pick. I mean, right now, if the NFL draft were to start today, they would have the number 3 pick. The Chicago Bears have 1 and number 2, and the Raiders and Bears play
our Bears
week
host,
7.
He said, hey, why not just draft Caleb Williams and Drake May, 1 and 2?
I don't know if he said that, but, I mean,
I'm pretty sure Harry said that.
If the Raiders have the number 1 overall pick and you still keep Josh McDaniels, that is one of the I mean, if I'm a Raider fan, you riot. Well, why would you give Josh McDaniels his pick at the next head coach or at his quarterback? It makes no sense. Makes no sense because you know why?
He drafts a running back first overall.
I don't know what he would do because you gave Josh McDaniels the opportunity to get a quarterback this offseason. You moved on from Derek Carr, which is still the right thing to do. But what does he do? He goes with what he knows, and he went with Jimmy Garoppolo. So how about this? Let's talk about it. Jimmy G missed week 4 due to the concussion protocol.
Jimmy cracked corn, and he didn't care.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say anymore about Jimmy Garoppolo. I don't know if he could crack corn with his weak arm. Aidan O'Connell or Jimmy Garoppolo, who would you rather have as a starter? Type JG for Jimmy Garoppolo or AOC for Aidan O'Connell. I know some of y'all aren't going to want to type AOC, but hey, it is what it is. Right now at the live poll at the very top, 84% say Aidan O'Connell. I know some of y'all are saying Caleb Williams. If you want Caleb Williams, the answer should then be Brian Hoyer, because Brian Hoyer gives you the best chance to have the number 1 overall pick in the 2024 NFL draft.
He wanted to play so bad on Sunday.
Dude, he tried to go in the game 2 times. There was at least 2 times that they showed on TV where he was like, all right.
I don't think anybody even called him in the game. He just had his helmet on.
He's like, I'm ready.
Do it. Do you want me?
Right now.
You want me in?
You want me to go right now?
I'm ready.
Oh, man, we'll see. But Alex M is going to go AOC. I got diehard Raiders Sport fan, Brian Hoyer. Queen Sarah Otto, Silver Ice, Doc Holliday, all spamming Aidan O'Connell. Let's go to Jeffrey. What's up, my man? I love how Mark Davis goes and hires Becky Hammon, arguably the best coach in the WNBA, then hires Josh McDaniels, arguably the worst coach in the NFL. First and goal, let's keep throwing with the rookie. Like, here's my biggest thing with that play, right? Well, there's 2 things to me. One, it's first down and goal here, and the Raiders obviously been able to move the football effectively through the air, but they also were doing it very well with Josh Jacobs. And I do believe at that point, the Chargers are winded. If you would have ran the football 4 times in a row from the 3-yard line with Jacobs, you score. The pass play wasn't great, right? Like, the idea of going for a pass play probably would not have been my first choice, but it's the play design that they do. The play that drives me the most nuts in the NFL, especially when you have a rookie quarterback, especially when you're in that type of situation, is when you're lined up on the right hash, and then you decide to do a rollout with a non-mobile quarterback where you're essentially saying you have one spot to put this football, which his one spot was to Davante Adams. You got to give the defender a little bit of credit here. He was able to step up, read it perfectly. But why on earth would you put your rookie quarterback in that spot where you're going to roll him out to the right, giving him essentially already half of the field to give him one read, and he had to make a split decision? That's what that play is, split decision. He made the wrong decision. That sucks. But for Josh McDaniels then to kind of throw Aidan O'Connell under the bus the way that he did, it's why I'll sit up here and say Josh McDaniels might be a smart offensive-minded guy, which I'm even starting to question that. I know players talk about it, but Josh McDaniels never been able to run a successful offense when he hasn't had Tom Brady. And guess what? Tom Brady helps out a lot of people. So you add all of those things into the equation, and then you don't have the ability to lead men. Like, we have a few unbelievable quotes coming up here on today's show, but to me, Josh McDaniels refers to players as numbers. He looks at people as just guys on a stat sheet, X's and O's, instead of actually being able to sit down and get to know them. Rich Bisaccia is not as good as an X's and O's guy as McDaniels, but Rich Bisaccia had those players' backs, and those guys would have went to war for Bisaccia.
Facts.
I'm sorry, nobody is going to bat for Josh McDaniels. And I've seen reports out there, saw one from Hondo Carpenter that said that Josh McDaniels hasn't lost the locker room. Well, guess what? No Raiders player is going to come forward and say that they don't believe. But you know what? I think I'm a really good person at being able to read body language. I'm a really good person at being able to read between the lines. Look at the way Max Crosby looked at the end of that game. Listen to what Josh Jacobs said. Listen to what Davante Adams said, that we have way too good of a team to be where we are. I mean, you can read between the lines there all you want, but I mean, I'm going to keep it a buck with you. That Raiders locker room won't come out and say it, but there's no way that they are rallying behind Josh McDaniels.
Josh McDaniels. Read between the lines, buddy.
Honestly,
read between the lines.
There's at times when it comes to McDaniels, I'm okay with you just dropping the lines because flick them off. Everybody right now, besides Chuggs and I, look at the camera. I want you to scream Josh McDaniels so you can go F yourself. Unless you got kids around, fire McDaniels and flip them off right now.
There's the middle finger emoji, right?
Can you do the middle finger emoji? Like, Monday overreactions are just going to start turning into, let's just vent. I do think it's a healthy thing to do because I saw the Raiders, they're donating $1 million to UNLV or something like that, and I laughed because Graphic Raider then posted on Twitter, He's like, shit, that $1 million should go to Raiders mental health. I agree. Like, this show is going to start turning into just Monday vent sessions. Let's relax. Let's have a good time. And let's chill out. So if you want to give Josh McDaniels the bird.
There we go. You can.
You got it?
It's in there.
I don't know if I see it. Do I see it? I don't know. Did you put it in?
I think I did.
I don't think you did. And if
Unless
you did,
they blocked it.
They might have blocked it. I don't know.
Above Sounds of the Sun. It's not in there for you?
I don't see anything, no. I wonder if they blocked the middle finger emoji.
Y'all see that?
In the chat? No, there's nothing in the chat.
Oh.
Really?
Block it then.
That's kind of wild.
This is what I have.
Yeah, no, you can't. They blocked the middle finger emoji.
Boo.
Even YouTube. All right, how about this? Just get a bird. That's good enough. Flip him the bird. Flip him the bird. All right, y'all, we are going to do a 50-50 raffle today. See, Rebel says I put it in, but here's the thing, y'all. We don't see them. That's kind of crazy. I didn't know that YouTube blocked the middle finger emoji. It's kind of wild. I never knew that. Keystone Raider has the right idea. If you want to flip Josh McDaniels the bird, get some birds, throw them down there in the chat, and let's have a little bit of a vent sesh today. So yesterday, for those that do not know, we did two 50-50 raffles here on Venmo. $20 to enter. You can scan that QR code. Venmo me at MitchellRenz365. Yesterday, we had Fat Bearded Dad win $1,000. And then we also had Jesus Hutardo win $550. So if you want to enter our 50-50 raffle today, $20 to enter. We'll do a duck race at the end, or maybe we can do a bird race. I don't even know at this point for Josh McDaniels. But if you want to enter, we're going to do that at the very, very end of the show. $20 to enter. Good luck to everyone out there.
If I wouldn't get absolutely drug in the comment section, I would enter because
well, the problem is if you were to win, it'd be like
exactly, I can't.
It's rigged.
Exactly.
It's rigged, right? We'll see. We'll see if anybody wants in.
People were already on my ass after Trivan won.
It's a great ass, though. I mean, can you blame him? I don't know. All right, how about this? I can't wait to see this answer. How many games will the Raiders win this season? The Raiders have beaten one team. It was the Denver Broncos on a last-minute drive, and the Broncos have looked like the third worst team in the National Football League behind probably only the Chicago Bears, and that game yesterday was probably one of the worst football games I've ever seen. But for the Raiders here, like your next three stretch of games is going to decide so much. You have Monday Night Football against the Green Bay Packers.
Harry's still getting over that game yesterday.
I mean, then you got the New England Patriots Week 6. Week 7 could legitimately be the Caleb Williams Bowl. Now, I will say that I can make an argument, and I can make a strong argument, that the Raiders could win their next three football games. And if you're able to win your next three football games, 4-3 is not so bad. 4-3, we're sitting pretty. Maybe we can get the ball rolling in the right direction. There's still some positives there. But you barely beat the Broncos. You got your shit pushed in against Buffalo. Then again, the Bills look like right now the best team in the NFL is what the Buffalo Bills look like. You lost to the Pittsburgh Steelers, who just lost by, 30 to the Texans.
Texans are one of the best teams in the NFL, apparently.
I'm not going to go that far, but the Texans are a lot better than a lot of people gave them credit. My thing is the Steelers aren't a good football team. And then yesterday against the Los Angeles Chargers, you had an opportunity to win. If you would have told me that Justin Herbert would have thrown an interception at 167 yards and you'd still lose, that you would hold the Chargers offense to 0 points in the second half and you'd still lose, it would blow my mind. Like, this Raiders team, the defense has to hold right now. The defense has to hold its opponents to under 17 points per game for a chance to win. That's not happening. That's not happening right now. The Raiders have one of the most laughable offenses in the National Football League with somebody who is supposedly supposed to be an offensive guru. So here we go. How many wins will the Raiders have this season? I'm going to give some shout-outs here on the Raiders board. John Lopez says 3. Alan Maxwell, 5. Henry Posada, 1. Jose Perez, 1.
Low-key, I hurt my hand a little bit slamming the table yesterday.
You did?
A little bit.
Oh, man. Juan Hernandez, 6.
I didn't realize how hard I hit the table when I was up there talking after the Raiders got the 4th down.
Oh,
stop.
dude.
I mean,
this is the ultimate pause. My throat this morning when I woke up, it's in shambles.
I think
Absolute
I
shambles.
blacked out for that 30 seconds after the 4th down stop. My soul left my body, and I felt like I was watching myself from 10 feet above.
Really?
And I was just out of control. I went back and watched it yesterday.
Yep.
I'm a madman. I was an absolute madman for 20 seconds.
I mean, I feel like every single Sunday when the Raiders kick off, I'm just a madman from the entire time. People call Mad Max Mad Max. I might just start going by Mad Mitch. How many games will the Raiders win this season? Also, Jeremy, we got an entry in our duck race here, 50-50 raffle. Remember, $20 Venmo at Mitchell Renz 365. Jeff Chapp, you in. And right now, Jeff, if nobody else enters, I'll give you back your $20. It's like, oh, you win $10. That would be miserable. So, Jeff, don't worry if nobody else enters, which I'm pretty sure somebody will enter here or there. You won't be the only one hanging. Appreciate you adding me as a friend as well on Venmo. If anybody wants to go up against Jeff, there you go. Scan the QR code. That might be the most entertaining things we can even do here on the Raiders Report going forward this season. We might get to a point where we might just do a duck race. Imagine if we just did a game-long duck race. Raiders, Packers, Monday Night Football. And instead of the game, it's just a 4-hour duck race. I'm not ducking around. I wouldn't.
Just hope your duck's not in first place.
Exactly. Let's go to Bill from Jersey, one of the MVPs from yesterday's show. It doesn't matter who we want. It's going to be Jimmy Garoppolo. Why was it okay to throw AOC under the bus for turnovers, but avoid it when Jimmy threw 3 picks? I mean, I'll say this. We know what Josh McDaniels is at this point, and if you want a head coach that's got a backbone, you got the wrong guy up there. I mean, that's just the way that it goes.
It's so weird, like you always say, McDaniels is the person that 100% has a favorite child and lets his kids know. He is like, has a weird obsession with people. Like Brandon Bolden doesn't play at all.
Yep.
Is still getting paid over $2 million to be on the Raiders roster this year and doesn't contribute a lick.
I mean, his only role is to be a player coach is the only thing that I can come up with here. I mean, again, Jimmy Garoppolo has played really bad. Aidan O'Connell was really bad yesterday. Like, there's no way to get around it. And we'll kind of talk about who the Raiders should go with. I don't want to give away my entire show, but like when you watch the Raiders offense under Aidan O'Connell and you watch the Raiders offense under Jimmy Garoppolo, I mean, to me, there really was not that much difference. So if it was up to me, would you go with the rookie potentially, or do you go with the veteran? Because I do wonder if Garoppolo would have played yesterday, if they don't turn the football over, do you win that game? I can also spin it, though, as Aidan O'Connell was able to move the football a lot more effectively than what Jimmy G has been able to do since he's been the quarterback. So, you know, it's kind of this, I don't know what to get. If Garoppolo was playing turnover-free football, different conversation. But Jimmy's turned it over just as much as what Aidan has, and Aidan got sacked 7 times compared to Garoppolo getting sacked 4 times through 3 games. Let's go to Sound of the Sun. Brady made guys like McDingleberry and Belichick. McDingleberry has sucked everywhere else he's gone. Fire the clown. I mean, here's the thing. Like, you're not totally wrong on the idea of everywhere, every, like, past Belichick disciple, everybody that's tried to do the Patriot way, it's never worked without Tom Brady. And you're also right with the idea of, you know, it hasn't really worked with Bill Belichick. I got some interesting Belichick stats coming up here on today's show because the numbers don't support Bill. This might be hard for a lot of y'all to believe, but when you have the greatest quarterback of all time, when you have the greatest QB of all time, it makes the coach's job easier.
Low-key, Andy Reid sucks.
I won't go that far.
I'm
Reid is...
kidding. I'm pro Andy Reid.
I think Andy Reid is one of the best offensive minds out there. But it's kind of like the whole Phil Jackson was great. Well, guess why? He had Kobe. He had Michael Jordan. It's going to make your job a lot easier. I think Andy Reid. I would rather have Andy Reid right now than Bill Belichick. I mean, even all, like, I really honestly think that if Belichick doesn't retire soon, the argument of him being the greatest head coach of all time, it should be in question. He's got a losing record without Tom Brady. And it's a long amount of games.
Who retires first, Belichick or Saban?
Oh, man.
Belichick
We'll see. It's going to be interesting.
Saban, the tide is kind of, it's been low tide.
Also, we got another entry in the 50-50. Jeremy Paul, you in.
Okay.
Jeremy Paul, you in. So right now we have a two-way duck race 50-50. Winner gets their money back.
Victor.
What up, man? Start AOC, run the ball 5 to 15-yard throws to keep the offense on the field as long as possible, and fire McDick. Also, F the Astros and go Dodgers. Probably should put this one up on screen. I mean, you have to be able to admit that, yeah, Aidan O'Connell had his struggles, but the overall Raiders offense, to me, was better as a collective unit. They ran more plays than they ever have this season, and it's not all that close. On top of that, you were finally able to get the running game going with Josh Jacobs. You were finally able to get Josh Jacobs going because the teams weren't able to stack the box. Like, yes, Aidan showed his inefficiencies as a rookie, but you would like to be able to think that he's going to get better and better and better as the season were to go on.
Victor, I want a rematch.
Oh, yeah?
World Series this year. Astros, Dodgers, make it happen. We'll win our side, you win your side. Let's go.
As a baseball fan, that might be the last World Series that I'd want to see.
Why?
I don't want to see the Astros and Dodgers, two teams that have been in it. No way. I don't want to see that.
What teams do you want?
Anybody but those teams I'd actually be happy with.
On both sides.
You can name anything else, I'm okay with it. I don't want to see the Dodgers, sorry, and I don't want to see the Astros. Any other combination in this year's World Series, I'm okay with it.
People in the chat love the Astros.
Nobody loves the Astros. I know there's a lot of Dodgers fans out there. I hate to break it to you. I'm not a Dodgers guy.
I'm telling you, out of 800 people watching, I bet you 400 people like the Astros.
Sure. Yeah,
Who's with me?
If that helps you sleep at night.
Who's with me?
If you hate the Astros, type F the Astros.
Rashissimo, hire Dan Quinn as head coach and young offensive coordinator, fire McDummy.
Fire McDummy. I like the idea of adding Dan Quinn as head coach. I do think he's going to get another opportunity.
Crazy enough, I actually haven't seen one Astros fan in the chat.
I do think that he's going to get another opportunity, and I do think that guys deserve another shot. However, there's also a part of me right now, I think my number one candidate would be the offensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions. I like young-minded head coaches. I like offensive-minded head coaches, guys that show that they can adapt and that they can change. But Rashissimo, cheers to you. Oh, shit. Also, Rashissimo, before I forget, hang on a second here. I literally have been waiting for you to message us on here. I need to know what jersey you want. Raiders Report jerseys. I have them all written down, just so y'all know. Okay. Rashissimo, I need a jersey. You won one of our duck races. I have yet to be able to get your information on that. So, Rashissimo, if you could, down below, give me your top numbers that you're interested in. I can tell you, though, we do have a lot already that are taken. So, just now that I have you here, Rashissimo, please let me know. Let's go to Rebel. Fire Josh McDaniels. Thanks to him, I'm 0-4.
I feel bad for you.
Rebel, I'm sorry, brother. I'm sorry. What up, Mario? I feel like a guy who takes back their girl after she cheated. Raiders just let me down, but I love them, so I stay. I mean, I feel like I tell this to people all the time that the most toxic relationship that I have ever been in and the most toxic relationship that I am currently in is with the Las Vegas Raiders, right? Like, next week, Monday Night Football against the Packers, guess what? The hope's going to be there. I'm going to sit up there. I'm going to convince myself that, hey, the Raiders can win their next 3 games, which they can. They can beat the Packers. They can beat the Patriots. They can beat the Bears. You can get back to being 3-2. That's a possibility that I think every single person watching right now is sitting there going, yeah, like, it's a shot, right? Like, the NFL is a weird and crazy place. I think worst case scenario, the Raiders only win 2 out of their next 3, and then you're 2-4.
You just can't beat yourself.
Or 3-4. I think, like, that's the Raiders' worst-case scenario. If they lose all their next 3 games, I don't know if McDaniels makes it out of that, because then I don't think that they're beating the Lions. The Giants is a tough one. New York Jets got arguably the best defense in the NFL, so it's a tough time, man. What up, Victor? Love it. Just don't cheat again. banging on cans.
Never cheated.
Never cheated?
Rashissimo,
I don't know.
53, 3, or 13 are the numbers. Are any of those available?
53, 3, and 13. I can already tell you no. That is Def Jasper, Roxy, and then Lucky Irish. The numbers that are available at this current moment: 18, 27, 28, 29, 30, 36, 38, 39, 40, 43, 46, 48, 49, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 61 through 66, 68, 70, 73, 74, 76, 78, 82 to 86, 91 to 97. Those are the numbers that are available. I have them all written down. Now, I still need a few other people to message me about certain jerseys, like Eric Ferreira. I need him. Guy named Nate. Nate, wherever you are, I need your jersey. And then I got Knackered Irishman's. He's going to go with, I believe, 32 is what he said. I just need I got to look at the Venmo again. Drew, trade 17 and number 8. Hire Ben Johnson. I like this idea. Elijah Evero, draft Williams, and Harrison Jr. That's got to be a solid foundation for the future. I mean, yes, but you're not going to get Marvin Harrison Jr., and you're not going to be able to get Caleb Williams, both of those guys, unfortunately. At least I don't potentially think so. If you trade Devontae Adams, you better get 2 first-round picks for him because the Raiders have already paid him for 2024. So essentially, you're paying Devontae Adams to go play for another football team. Like, you're going to lose out essentially $24.7 million. It wouldn't blow my mind if the Raiders decided to trade Josh Jacobs. But again, if they continue to trend in this direction, like come NFL trade deadline day, November 1st, the Raiders are going to be shipping off players left and right. And I'll say that the only player that right now on the Raiders roster that they will not trade is Max Crosby. That's the only way. The only way they trade Devontae is if Devontae says, hey, get me the hell out of here. Let's go Jimmy MVP. You're too lame. LV will win next 3 with Jimmy Garoppolo. AOC was bad. I mean, I'm not trying to take anything away from Aidan O'Connell. He did not play a solid football game. He lost 2 fumbles, had a bad interception. But, like, are you that confident in Jimmy Garoppolo, a quarterback that right now leads the National Football League in interceptions?
Get a pick.
With 6? Like,
what is this?
He's been bad.
What is this screensaver you have as your profile pick?
I can make the argument that I thought Aidan O'Connell helped out the overall Raiders team more than what Jimmy Garoppolo has helped out the overall Raiders team, and I honestly have the numbers to prove it, and you're going to see it here on today's show.
Jimmy, you lame as F.
What up, Top Beats? Yo, Mitch, I've been a Raider fan since 1967. That's 56 years. Ziegler and McDaniels' leadership is the worst I have ever seen. However, I don't see Davis terminating them until the end of the season. They're going to have a 3-14 record.
You'll be able to get Caleb Williams or Drake May with that.
You should be able to. I like to think so. I mean, if the Raiders only win 2 more games the rest of the season.
You need the Bears or the Panthers to win some games.
Yeah.
Because if the Bears hold the first 2 overall picks, the Bears are going to trade the second pick to the highest bidder.
Sure. I would say if you told me the Raiders win only 2 more games the rest of the season, I would say that they're about to happen. I think it would be New England and Chicago. I know we've had the Broncos number, but at that point, I would just rather the Raiders lose that football game.
Rashissimo,
30. Perfect. Rashissimo. Now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Rashissimo, are you good with just Rashissimo, number 30? If I get a yes here, I'm going to put you down for that. Rashissimo, number 30. That makes me happy.
Number 30.
Number 30. Rashissimo. Nice.
All right. Here's what we got going on today's show. McDaniels will never be good. Start AOC or Jimmy G. We're going to do a little, not a segment, but just a little Q&A, hashtag Raiders, super chat to vent later on. We're going to just spend about 15 minutes talking with you in the chat and at the end of today's show.
Oh, boy.
We're going to have a 50-50 raffle.
That's right.
$20 to enter only on Venmo.
Only on Venmo. We got Jeremy and Jeff right now, and not this Jeremy, another one. So
a different one.
Right now, if you send in a 20, you would end up winning $30. You'd have a shot to win $30.
We had somebody win $1,000 yesterday.
Somebody won $1,000 yesterday.
$1,000. Another person won $500 on our 50-50 raffle. It's a lot of fun.
It is
fun. The more
fun.
people we get in.
I promise you this. You're going to watch it at the end of the show, and you're going to be like, son of a gun. I should have done that. I mean, it's electric. I think it's a great way to boost up some spirits. It's probably the thing that I enjoy almost doing the most anymore. I mean, a duck race, to be able to give away some money, I do think is a really, really cool thing. So if you want to enter, get out your phone, get out your camera right now, scan that QR code, add me as a friend, at Mitchell Renz 365, $20 to enter for a chance to win some moolah, baby. Let's go to Larry DM. Josh McDaniels, last 9 games, he has started 4 different quarterbacks, 2-7. How does this guy have a job? He has a job based off of what he did with the New England Patriots and Tom Brady. That is the only thing that I can come up with for Josh McDaniels, because everywhere he's gone that he hasn't had Tom Brady, it hasn't only been bad, it's been disastrous. That's a cold, hard fact. Let's go to Rashissimo. He says yes, number 30 for Rashissimo. Also, I think I just got a friend request here, and the answer to that is yes. We got Cody Lowry. You in? Cody Lowry. Here, let me just message that to you.
Ruben, still so surreal to me that the 2021 season left me feeling so confident in the future of the team. Now it's just sad to watch. Raider Nation for life. Love you guys.
I mean, to me, the Raiders at 10-7. Again, I understand that they made the playoffs. I do think, you could sit up here and say they were a playoff team. Overall, from a roster standpoint, I don't know if they were as talented as what they ended up being, because they were 6-7. They won their final 4 games. They kind of got lucky, I think, squeaked their way in. However, that just goes to show that when you have a head coach like Rich Bisaccia, and you can get guys to believe, when you get guys to rally around each other and guys to be just a great overall team, that can go a long way instead of just treating players like numbers and just treating people like X's and O's. And that's what McDaniels does right now. He has the inability to be able to connect with anybody on that roster.
You ready to rock?
So coming up here live on the Raiders Report, McDaniels, he's never going to be a good head coach, and I'm hoping Mark Davis wakes the hell up. Should we start Aidan O'Connell or Jimmy Garoppolo? If you want to be able to vent, use hashtag Raiders. We're going to answer some questions for every single person that uses hashtag Raiders. I want to do about 10 minutes of a mailbag is what we call it here. 10 minutes, hashtag Raiders. We'll answer some questions. If you want to skip the line, super chat. And then at the very, very end of the show, we will do a duck race 50-50 raffle. Venmo me on, I was going to say Venmo me on Venmo. Venmo me at Mitchell Renz 365. Right now, if you send in 20, you'd have a chance to win $40. So, not too bad. Chuggs, let me get a sip of water, and then we will get this thing going.
Glug, 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 glug.
Never gets old. Some things never get old. And if you want the Raiders to fire Josh McDaniels, I think you're really going to like what I have in store for you today. Ready? 3, 2, 1, let's get it going. If you want the Raiders to fire Josh McDaniels, hit that subscribe button. The amount of content that I'm going to be churning out over the next 24, 48 hours, hell, I feel like the entire football season until this team realizes that he's not the right man for the job, I'm going to be screaming at the top of my lungs, it's time to fire Josh McDaniels. And if you agree with that, hit that subscribe button. Hey, Mark Davis, it's time to wake the hell up. Josh McDaniels has never been a good head coach, and he's never going to be a good head coach. If you haven't seen the viral video on my Twitter, at Mitchell Renz 365, there was a Raiders fan at SoFi Stadium screaming at Mark Davis, I almost said it, F McDaniels, because it's just so much frustration going on. But what's even more frustrating is that everybody that bleeds silver and black, or at least the smart ones up here, knew that it was never going to work with McDaniels. Hell, I made this video 10 months ago. If you don't believe me, it's on the channel. It's on all over my social media. And history should have told Mark Davis that McDaniels will not rebuild the Raiders. In fact, he is doing the exact same thing that he did in Denver. McDaniels doesn't build anything, right? And I've heard everybody say Rome wasn't built in a day. Well, guess what? Rome at least made progress. I have never seen another human being take a football team that made the playoffs at 10-7 and then totally just rip them apart from all the way top, all the way down, and expect people to just sit back and say, okay, this is the McDaniels way. The McDaniels way is absolutely terrible. The other thing that's frustrating, and the reason why I knew that McDaniels was never going to be a good head coach and why I know he's never going to be a good head coach, is because he doesn't change anything. He just tries to do the same thing over and over and over and over again. He doesn't make adjustments on the field. He doesn't make adjustments off the field. I tweeted this out on February 1st. This is way before the Raiders signed Jimmy Garoppolo. If the Raiders sign Jimmy Garoppolo or trade for Mac Jones, I am going to riot. I said that because deep down I felt like the Raiders are going to do what the Raiders do. McDaniels going to do what McDaniels does. Go out and get his guy. But I knew that Jimmy Garoppolo was washed. I knew that Jimmy Garoppolo wasn't going to be the right fit for the Las Vegas Raiders when you had so many other opportunities to get other quarterbacks to help this team. Then, when news came out that the Raiders were going to end up hiring Josh McDaniels, I tweeted this out on January 27th. You can check the dates. If you don't want the Raiders to hire Josh McDaniels, then click that retweet button. This tweet now has close to 3,000 retweets. When Raider fans are smarter than the people making decisions inside of that front office, it's what drives the nation, I think, the most crazy. McDaniels stinks. Everything that he has done since being named the head coach, I can't wrap my mind around it. The only positive thing that McDaniels has done was he traded for Davante Adams, and he was able to get a star receiver. But McDaniels is such a, I'm going to call him an asshole. We'll just try to be there. And he's got such a God complex that imagine trading for Davante Adams for a first and a second round pick, and all Davante asks you to do is, hey, put me in the loop for the whole quarterback discussion. Doesn't put him in the loop. That's how insane the idea of having Josh McDaniels is as a head coach. So if you want the Raiders to move on from McDaniels, if you knew that McDaniels was going to be a bad hire, I want you to click the like button right now. I know that not every single person can super chat, but this show is about giving the nation a voice, and I want Mark Davis to hear the anger. I want the Raiders from the top to bottom to understand that we are a passionate fan base, and we are allowed to get upset, especially when all this shit has been going on for as long as it has. So the easiest way to get loud is when we all rally together. So the more people that chant fire McDaniels, the more people that click like on this video, the more people that share this video, the louder our voice is going to be heard. I knew that McDaniels was going to be a bad hire because, let's face it, he is never, ever going to change. And if you haven't been able to pick up on that recently, then I don't know what to tell you. I said it the moment he got hired. I've been on other shows from here and there, and I'm going to continue to say it. I have zero faith in Josh McDaniels, and I will never have faith in McDaniels because I knew that he was going to go with the Patriot way. Newsflash, the Patriot way has never worked without Tom Brady. You think about all the Belichick disciples. Go on Google, look up Belichick coaching tree. Look up past Patriot coaches. Everywhere that they have tried to go and everywhere that they have tried to replicate the Patriot way, it doesn't work. Why? Because you don't have the greatest quarterback that has ever played. I know that kills Raider fans because of the Tuck rule, but it's the truth. When you don't have Tom Brady, your job's not going to be as easy. Go ask Bill Belichick, who apparently is the greatest head coach of all time. Bill Belichick with Tom Brady, 219 wins, 64 losses, obviously all the Super Bowl wins. Bill Belichick without Tom Brady has got a losing record at 80-91. I do think that Bill is one of the best defensive minds that we've ever had, but Bill is still trying to do what he did when he had Tom Brady. And guess what? You don't have Tom Brady. You don't have that offense anymore. Yes, the Patriots defense is still legit, but as soon as McDaniels and Ziegler realize, unfortunately they're never going to realize, that you don't have Tom Brady right now at quarterback. So everything you did in New England all those years ago, it's not working. And instead of trying to keep doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result, you got to go and try to do something else or else you're going to get fired. So Mark Davis, I'm telling you this. Wake up. I am begging you. Raider Nation deserves better. Like, my mental health, I know a lot of Raider fans, man, the mental health right now, it's not great. What exactly Josh McDaniels is doing right now with the Raiders is exactly what he did in Denver, because Josh only knows one way, and it's the Patriot way, and that's all that he can do. And if it doesn't work, He doesn't care. He thinks it's everybody else's fault. He puts blame on everybody else. He deflects. He sits up there at the podium and he'll talk for 10 minutes about absolutely nothing. It's actually an art at this point, watching McDaniels address the media. So coming up here, I'm going to explain to you what McDaniels did in Denver, and I'm going to show you he's literally doing the exact same thing to the Las Vegas Raiders. But I do got to take a little bit of a
Whoop, whoop, whoop. Sponsor alert, sponsor alert.
huge shout out to today's sponsor, Game Time. And if you're like Mitch, I don't want to watch the Raiders. Well, luckily for you, when you head out to Vegas, you can go to a comedy event, which I'll tell you right now, maybe the best comedy event in Las Vegas is the Raiders. If you want to go to a concert, you can do that. I don't recommend Taylor Swift, but hey, her tickets would probably be even pretty cheap here on the Game Time app. So Raider Nation, create an account and redeem code Raiders Chat for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Forget planning months in advance. Game Time has deals on tickets right up to the day of the event. Get exclusive flash deals on tickets for football, basketball, baseball, concerts, comedy, theater, and a whole lot more. It is the perfect app for buying tickets when planning a visit to Las Vegas. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code RaidersChat for $20 off your first purchase. Again, create an account, redeem code RaidersChat for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. So to me, when I go out to Vegas, I like to just do whatever the heck I want. I don't like to plan too far in advance, which I get, and I like that because I have the flexibility to do whatever I want. But maybe one of my favorite features that Game Time has is this look right here. Not many apps show you all the different spots in terms of how much the tickets are, how good the prices are, and then exactly like what you're going to be able to see when you're sitting down. That's one of the biggest game changers that they have. And if you want to get started, promo code RaidersChat. Link's going to be available for you guys down in the comments and down in the description of today's show. So let's show you what Josh McDaniels did with the Denver Broncos when he was the head coach from 2009 and 2010, because he's doing the exact same thing here to the Las Vegas Raiders. So in 2009, was named the head coach. The Broncos started 6-0. For those of you that don't know, the Broncos started 6-0. McDaniels got in trouble for cheating, and then ever since then, he has struggled in the National Football League. The Broncos finished the season with an 8-8 record, and they just simply couldn't make the right corrections. In 2010, the Broncos started at 3-9 with McDaniels. He ended up getting fired, and he lost the team. You look at all the old players that talk about McDaniels, Aqib Talib, Brandon Marshall. We got a hell of a Brandon Marshall quote coming up here. Players could not stand him. And it's only a matter of time before somebody on the Raiders works up enough courage and they say, guess what? We never liked Josh McDaniels. And it's going to happen once they do finally realize that he's a shitty head coach. And once they do finally realize that, hey, we got to move on from this guy. There's going to be players coming out left and right saying that we didn't like him. But here's the other funny thing, right? Because remember, McDaniels is a guru. After firing McDaniels in 2010, the following year, the Broncos not only went to the playoffs, they won a playoff game. So in one season, one turnaround, you go from being a 3-9 football team, a terrible football team. All you do is replace your head coach, and you go out there and make the playoffs and win a playoff game. I think the Raiders could do the exact same thing because the Raiders right now have enough talent on this team, especially on offense, to be able to put up some points, and they can't put up any points. Back in 2021, the Raiders were 10-7 and made the playoffs under Rich Bisaccia. Rich Bisaccia might not know the X's and O's like Josh McDaniels, but Rich Bisaccia could get a group of men to rally behind him because he cares about the name on the back. All Josh McDaniels cares about is X's and O's and a number. McDaniels is the type of head coach that refers to players as numbers. Rich Bisaccia is the type of coach that refers to them as players and actually gets to know them. Las Vegas, I don't care what McDaniel says. I don't care what Ziegler says. They planned on winning in 2022. You don't trade for a Devontae Adams. You don't go out and sign a Chandler Jones. You don't give Derek Carr the contract that they did. You don't make Darren Waller the highest paid tight end in the league. You don't give Hunter Renfrow the type of deal that they did. You don't give Max Crosby the type of contract extension they did. If you're not planning on winning football games, here's the cold hard fact. They tried to win games. Their plan didn't work, and instead of changing it and instead of addressing some of the shit that they could have addressed this offseason, what does Josh McDaniels do? I got 12 draft picks. I have all this money in free agency. Instead of going out and trying to really rebuild this defense, I'm going to try to make myself look better. I'm going to spend more money on the offensive side of the football than on the defensive side of the football and still have one of the worst offenses in the National Football League. Josh McDaniels sucks. And if you don't believe me, well, guess what? I got more examples coming up here on today's show, sponsored by Game Time. McDaniels can't make adjustments, and it's honestly funny at this point. And I hate saying that because when I watch the Raiders, man, it is the most pure joy that I have. When the Raiders are winning, dude, it is like the greatest feeling in the world. And sorry, Alex, but I love watching the Raiders, man. I love hanging out with the nation. And it's true. Like, when the Raiders are winning, it's too good to be true. But the inability to make adjustments, it's just going on and on. And here's just a short example. Right now, the Raiders are tied for 7th in terms of points by quarter. This probably doesn't surprise you. The Raiders are 31st in points in terms in the second quarter and the third quarter. Why? Because other NFL head coaches know exactly what McDaniels is going to do. We know what he's going to do. Whatever that game plan is in the first quarter, he's going to just keep trying to do it over and over and over and over again. Defensive coordinators, other good head coaches, make adjustments, and then the Raiders can't score in the second quarter. The Raiders can't score in the third quarter. And the only reason why that they're tied for 17th is because garbage time points against the Pittsburgh Steelers, and we'll call it a garbage time touchdown maybe a little bit later in that game yesterday. I mean, overall, though, here's where the numbers do not lie. Mark Davis, wake up. Josh McDaniels can't make adjustments. Let's go to the next one. He continually throws players under the bus, and I just don't believe anything that McDaniels says. Like, when you can't have a head coach, like, think about from a parental standpoint. Think about from a teacher standpoint. Think about from anybody that a player looks up to. I don't believe a word that comes out of McDaniels' mouth. Think about it. I mean, he was like, oh, Darren Waller is going to be a big part of this team. 2 weeks later, ends up shipping him off. There is nothing that he says that I can say, you know what, that's a guy that I'm going to rally behind. And yesterday, after the Raiders lost, I get it. Aidan O'Connell did not play well, but that's your hand-picked quarterback. You put him in that situation because you decided to go out and sign a quarterback that we all know has a lot of injury history. I get it. Concussion's different. But Jimmy Garoppolo is still, I would consider, very injury-prone at QB. And you put your rookie quarterback in a tough spot. And instead of backing him up, you said this. Playing quarterback in our league starts with taking care of the football. I thought he adapted to the game a little bit as it went on, and we'll take every opportunity to learn from the mistakes that we made as a team. And I'm sure he will also, as a quarterback, and try to get better from it. Is McDaniels 100% wrong in what he's saying here, that Aidan made some mistakes? No doubt about it. But instead of him just saying, you know what, Aidan's a rookie, he had a really tough spot there, instead of saying, hey, you know what, I made the wrong play call, he threw his rookie under the bus. And I'm sorry, that's the type of shit where you're going to lose a locker room to. Like, it's just a cold, hard fact. You're going to lose a locker room when you do that type of shit. So then, my personal opinion is this on Josh McDaniels. Josh McDaniels will never be a good head coach because he's not a leader of men. This is the perfect example. He throws Aidan O'Connell under the bus instead of taking some blame. If you want to blame Jimmy Garoppolo, Brian Hoyer, hell, even Derek Carr for these mistakes, that's fine because they're veterans. But throwing your hand-picked rookie under the bus is why the Raiders should fire Josh McDaniels. Now, I'm not the only person that has an opinion around this team, and that's, I think right now, Raiders fans are kind of spoiled in a good way because I'm on YouTube. I look at a lot of other content people here. I think Chat Sports does an amazing job. But the amount of really good content creators around the Raiders, I mean, it's out there. And when I see other people who I respect and they give their opinion on situations, you know, when you have so many people that think the exact same way, guess what? It's probably because that's the correct way to think. And my guy Tristan Kuhn on Twitter, he said this: the quarterback you sign because he was your guy still leads the league in interceptions despite missing a week. O'Connell got sacked 7 times, and the game could have gone a lot worse after the first half. Play call to the end of the game was horrible and puts a young QB in a horrible spot to make a throw that he simply isn't ready to make in the NFL yet. That's what Tristan Kuhn had to say. He also said, it's weird behavior to ruin the confidence of your quarterback who just had a debut go about as bad as possible. Could O'Connell hold on to the ball more? Sure. Did the offensive line do their job? No. Did the play calling work? No, it's weird behavior, and I totally agree with it. Why would you already try to throw your guy under the bus when you know that he's sitting there and he's going, man, I feel terrible for that interception? It was his NFL debut, and Aidan was not good. A good head coach puts his arm around his QB and says, you know what? That's on me. Instead, he stands up at the podium and he shreds him to pieces. It's a weird, weird behavior, and only people who have no idea how other people feel and how other people think do that type of shit. Josh McDaniels can't lead. Then I saw Kenny King Jr., another guy. He said this: imagine taking a rookie quarterback who you've had inactive all season, throwing him into a game last minute against a rabid Khalil Mack, who has a vendetta against the Raiders, who had a few mistakes with ball security, but held his own and played with poise despite of it, and throwing him under the bus in your presser because you can't own up to the fact that you can't game plan the construction of a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Kenny, I totally agree. And if you guys want the nation's voice to be heard, the theme of today's show is I want the Raiders, Mark Davis, to hear the nation. So when I first started the show, I said, hit that subscribe button if you want Josh McDaniels fired. The next thing I asked you to do, click that like button if you want Josh McDaniels to be fired. Then the next thing I'm going to say is, if you want Josh McDaniels to be fired, click that share button. It is the arrow underneath here, posted on Twitter, posted on Facebook. Any opportunity you get at the Raiders, make sure Mark Davis sees his name because I can't say it loud enough. The Raiders need to fire Josh McDaniels. Let's go to the next one here. He's not a leader of men, and we've kind of already hit on this one a little bit. But you know what, Mitch? You've never played in the NFL. You're not a player. All the reports that we see from Raiders players that, oh, we like Josh McDaniels, which I would say, okay, what do you expect them to say? It's only a matter of time before a current Raiders player, once McDaniels is gone, says, that guy's a nightmare. You know who's not afraid to say it? A past Josh McDaniels player, and he now also does some television. This is what Brandon Marshall had to say about McDaniels. Josh McDaniels is definitely not suited to be a head coach. Absolutely not, because he doesn't know how to lead people. You can have all the X's and O's in the world, but when you go into a losing locker room, the first thing you have to do is to be able to get to the players' minds and their hearts, and he's not capable of doing that. He's not capable of doing it. Like, when I listen to what he says as a press conference, imagine that, but now you're a Raiders player and you got to deal with that every single day. I guarantee you that he is an extremely smart human being. He's probably that teacher that is a super, super smart teacher, but he doesn't have the ability to teach. He's the type of head coach that's like, I know what I'm talking about, and he just gets frustrated at you for not knowing what he's talking about because he doesn't have the ability to be able to teach you what he's talking about. The final reason, and this is the biggest one here, Josh McDaniels might have the biggest God complex that I've ever even seen. And if you don't know what a God complex is, it's essentially you think that you do no wrong, that everything that you do is great, that if you touch anything, it's going to grow. He can turn, I don't know, shit to gold, as Jeremy just whispered in my ear. And that's what a God complex is. And it's a problem because, I hate to break it to you, you are far, far from it. And the only way that you're ever going to be a successful head coach is if you realize that you're going to make mistakes. Everybody in life makes mistakes. And until McDaniels can sit up there and realize that he does make mistakes, dude's just a clown. So in conclusion, Josh McDaniels stinks. In his last 43 games as a head coach, he is an outstanding 12-31. So since McDaniels has been caught cheating with the Denver Broncos as a head coach, he is 12-31. He was bad with Denver, he was bad with the Raiders last season, and he's bad yet again with the Silver and Black. Guess what? He's not a good head coach. He's never been a good head coach. He's never going to be a good head coach. I knew at the moment that the Raiders hired him, and I begged Mark Davis to not do it, to not hire this clown. Unfortunately, we're stuck with him, and that's frustrating. So I got two more things to say, and then I'll let you guys get out of here. When the Raiders do finally realize that this is not the right man for the job, they're going to fire him. When he does get fired, I will be live on this show for 24 hours straight. I don't care when it happens. I don't care if I don't have a producer here. I'll be live on the Raiders Report 24 hours straight celebrating it. Now, I know a lot of y'all are like, Mitch, you get loud, you say fire McDaniels a lot. Well, guess what? I've already put out a video. I've put out a bunch of McDaniels replacement videos. So if you want to go check out my top candidates to replace McDaniels next season, and then also some replacements for this year because they will have to promote somebody, here's the thumbnail to the video. It's down in the comments. It's going to be down in the description of today's show. McDaniels will get fired. here are some replacements to at least keep in mind. Before I leave you guys again, here is our live schedule for this upcoming week. I'm going to be live tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Pacific. On Thursday night football showdown between the Bears and the Commanders. I'm going to be live for that one, but that's an important game. We're rooting for Chicago in that game. Every Raider fan alive should be rooting for the Chicago Bears because if they win this game, I believe the Raiders would then have the number 1 overall pick. Root for the Bears in that game. Then on Sunday, the Chiefs and the Broncos do not play each other, but I'm going to be live on Sunday, and we're going to be rooting against the Denver Broncos, and we're going to be rooting against the Kansas City Chiefs. And then Monday, Raiders, Packers, Monday Night Football. I can't guarantee you a win, but I can guarantee you every single time that I'm live here on the show, I will strive to make sure that we have a good time. So even if the season sucks, we're going to do our best here to bring a lot of smiles, even if I got this crazy mustache. All right, y'all, name a Raiders player you feel bad for because they play for Josh McDaniels. I like this one. Who do you feel bad for?
Crosby.
Max Crosby,
He
Devontae
plays his heart
Adams.
out. He is literally blood, sweat, and tears putting his body on the line, and I feel horrible because you see the effort. You see how hard he plays every single Sunday.
Yep.
And he just has to go to the sideline and deal with this dipshit.
It's frustrating. Also, Davin Lopez. You in. Right now, if you enter our 50-50 raffle duck race, you have a chance to win $50, $20 Venmo.
Devontae Adams, everybody. I see a lot of everybody.
Everybody.
All of them. Max.
That's funny.
AOC, everybody. Adams and Max. Josh Jacobs. Devontae Adams. Crosby and Adams and Renfro.
Renfro had a shot yesterday. I'm a little bit disappointed in Renfro. He had a really, really bad drop yesterday.
And Mitch wouldn't say it, but I knew you were trouble when you walked in. McDaniels, you eat corn the long way, and it'll never end.
Jeremy wanted me to sing that song during that last segment, and honestly, all the Taylor Swift shit, it's just getting annoying. It's getting old to me at this point, so that's why I didn't do it. The NFL Twitter account literally has the Chiefs are 2-0 since Swifty or something like that. Like, I already knew that the NFL plays favorites, but this is just getting out of hand.
I tweeted it last night, and it's really annoying. I'm not saying they get every single call, but doesn't it seem like every time in clutch moments the Chiefs need a call, they get a freaking call? Like on 3rd and 30, 3rd and 21, you're like, there's about to be a defensive holding on this play. There's about to be a DPI, defensive holding, or roughing the passer on this play. The
scramble that Mahomes had yesterday, he picked up like a huge first down or whatever. The defender is getting held, and it is as blatant as all hell that he's getting held. And it's fine because Mahomes just, scrambles, picks up like 30 yards, whatever the hell it was. It's brutal. But hey, when you're that good, the NFL knows that if the Chiefs are good, they're probably going to make more money. So it is what it is. What up, Fat Bearded Dad? Pains me to say, until McDaniels is gone, I have given up on this team winning. Game days will now be about hanging with you guys and the nation.
Fat Bearded Dad, I need to know, what did you do with all your winnings?
Yeah, what'd you spend it on?
Don't spend it all in one place.
Beard conditioner. There's a lot of beard there.
What did you buy with your winnings from the 50-50 raffle? If you don't know, Fat Bearded Dad won our 50-50 raffle at halftime. He won $1,000.
Yeah.
This past Sunday.
$1,000 is kind of wild. I'll say this, and I hope everybody understands this. Jeremy Chuggs and I, we are going to be live every single game day. I don't care if the Raiders are 1-15 and we're sitting there the final game against the Denver Broncos. We're going to still be live. Every single game that the Raiders play, I will be live. Every single Thursday night football, I will be live. And I want people to understand the fact that when they tune in, you're going to have a good time watching the show.
I literally scheduled my wedding coming up around the playoffs just in case the Raiders made it to the Super Bowl. I said, we can't have it Super Bowl week. We can't have it during the Super Bowl. Has to be after the season in case the Raiders make the Super Bowl, in case they make the playoffs. Clown.
Yeah,
Clown
dude. It's wild, man. It's wild. I don't know if Sounds of the Sun is talking to me in terms of says the guy that wants the team to tank. I don't want the team to tank. I never have wanted the team to tank, but maybe you're talking to somebody else. There's always different types of conversations going on in the comments.
Kyle Peck.
Is Kyle a first-time super chatter? Or what is that balloon? Because I don't know what the balloon is. I was literally just about to ask you. Does that mean that it's his birthday today? That's the only thing I can...
Kyle, is it your birthday?
Kyle, is it your birthday? I went to the game yesterday. It was absolutely a home game feel. Likely 75 to 80% Raider fans. It was awesome cheering with Raider Nation and just heartbreaking to lose that way. I mean, that game had to be another just absolute heartbreaker because you were in it to the very, very end. Very end.
No, the first time Super Chatter.
Interesting. So they
Yes,
switched it up.
They changed it.
Okay, well, the balloon, I guess now is the first-time Super Chatter, which, Kyle, congratulations to you for being a first-time Super Chatter. We appreciate it here, man. Every Super Chat does go a very, very long way. But I saw the photos. I saw videos. I mean, that's the one thing you can rely on. When the Raiders go to Los Angeles, that's going to be the Raiders' home game because I don't know if the Raiders are going to have another home game. I will admit, I do think as time goes on, right? Like right now, Allegiant Stadium is brand new. And I do think as time goes on, the amazement from other fan bases to go to Las Vegas might, die down a little bit as it goes on. But the Raiders' home field advantage right now, it does not exist.
Marty boy, the deep conspiracy theory, Taylor Swift is an Eagles fan. The Eagles played the Chiefs last year. She's going to break up with them right before the playoffs. That's the deep conspiracy going on.
Yeah? That would be kind of wild, I'm not going to lie. That'd be kind of insane. All right, y'all, if you want to get your questions on the show for the next 10 minutes, I am going to be answering your questions, but you got to use hashtag Raiders. When you use hashtag Raiders, Jeremy's going to take those questions. So, for example, hashtag Raiders, should the Raiders start Aidan O'Connell? Hashtag Raiders, should the Raiders trade Devontae Adams? Like, that's how the question should be formulated. Then Jeremy will put those up on the show.
Hashtag Raiders, what do you think about Edge joining AEW?
There you go. Anything, right? Hashtag Raiders, we'll get those up on screen. But when somebody super chats like Lance and Ruben did, they will skip the line. So for the next 10 to 15 minutes, I'm going to answer your questions.
Also, if you want to enter our 50-50 raffle, now the winner gets $40?
No, right now the winner, right now the winner would get 40. However, if another person entered, it would go up to 50. $20, get out your phone, scan that QR code. Right now the people in the race are Jeff, Jeremy, not him, Cody, and then David Lopez. Those are the people entered right now. Also, Jeremy, I got to switch up my jersey before I forget. Let me just, hold it down for like a minute.
Lance watched the game with some friends. 2 of them were Chargers fans. Sorry to hear that. Didn't let me hear the end of it. Almost burned my Josh Jacobs jersey. I mean, I don't know why you would do that. Josh Jacobs actually had his best game of the year against the Chargers. Had over 100 yards from the line of scrimmage. 139. Had over 20 fantasy points, caught pay dirt. I mean, Josh Jacobs easily had his best game of the year. But I get the frustration watching the game with fans. Also first-time Super Chatter, correct?
Yeah, I mean, I'll say this. I am against burning jerseys. I don't think burning jerseys makes any sense whatsoever. Well, sure, but it's also a waste of money. Like, I will never support anybody for burning the jersey, like, unless that player does some, like, out-of-bounds type of shit, some illegal stuff, or, Antonio Brown type of shit, then, that's your money. You can do what you want with it, but I don't know. It's a weird one. Let's go to Ruben. The Cardinals game of 2022 felt like a fatal blow.
Oh, that was a gut punch.
Being up 20-0. And then losing that football game hurt. I think the Cardinals game was definitely up there. The Rams game where they were up 16-3 and blew it in like the final 2 minutes. The worst game of the year, though, last season, and to me it's not close, when the Raiders couldn't get past midfield against the New Orleans Saints.
Oh.
I mean, that one to me was the most mentally frustrating because you couldn't get excited about anything. I mean, they couldn't do anything offensively. It was brutal to watch. Let's go to Taino Raider. The other question is, how much dead money have they created? All right, let me go here. Look real quick. So I think it depends on who you look at. in terms of like the source Over the Cap and Spotrac. According to Over the Cap, and again, this number, it's not accurate. They're going to be able to get out of the Chandler Jones number because right now it says Chandler Jones dead cap hit is at $12.5 million. But I would say if you get rid of the $12.5 million for Chandler Jones, then you're sitting somewhere at $35 million in dead cap space. If they end up saying, you know what, we're just going to eat the money anyway for Chandler Jones because they're friends with Chandler, then it's a $47.3 million dead cap hit this season. Like, they're paying Corey Littleton $10 million this year. They're paying Derek Carr $5.6. Carl Nassib makes $5 million this year. Kenyon Drake is making $4.4 million on this team. Alex Leatherwood is making $4 million on this team. I mean, all those players I just mentioned, that's 10, we'll say 15, 20, 27. The Raiders right now are paying $27 million in cap space to guys that aren't even on the team this year. Just in that short chunk. And now you're also counting Chandler Jones to that. It's wild. Let's go to your mom's
favorite skater.
Your mom's favorite skater. All right. How would you feel about ex-Raider Louis Riddick as GM and hire Eric Bieniemy as head coach? EB has a lot of knowledge of Andy Reid's system, and for us to get back on the top, we have to get past KC. I mean, I have brought up the name Louis Riddick before. I brought him up as one of my top candidates to be the general manager when the Raiders were looking at all the candidates that they did. So you can go check out that video back in 2022. The other thing with Eric Bieniemy is this. It's never going to happen. Eric Bieniemy's got some, we'll just call them skeletons in the closet. And due to the Raiders and just some of the other things that they have had, I've talked about this before, it's just never going to happen with Eric Bieniemy. They're never going to hire somebody that has the past skeletons in the closet that Eric Bieniemy has. If you don't know, you can go look up what Eric Bieniemy has done in the past and why it will never happen with the Raiders. Go to top beats. I think one of the main reasons McDaniels hasn't been fired is because of the complicated playbook and terminology McDaniels uses, which makes it difficult for any other coach to come in. I mean, it could be a reason. I think it's also just because, I've talked to a lot of sources inside the Raiders, and Mark Davis personally feels like he just churned through a whole bunch of head coaches for a 5-year span and they didn't get anywhere with it. So now they're going to sit back and try to be a little bit more patient. The problem is, if you just get worse and worse and worse, and Mark after 2 years is like, well, wait a minute, we won 10 games, and then we won 6 games, and then if they win even less games, well, they're definitely not going to be going in the right direction. So I do understand what you're saying, Top Beats, but I think it's more because Mark Davis wants to be patient. What up, Chad? Can we trade Jimmy Garoppolo? Sure. No team's going to trade for Jimmy Garoppolo. I mean, he looks about as washed up as you could possibly get, and nobody's going to want to give you draft compensation for him, and nobody's going to want to pay him the money that the Raiders said that they would pay him. So I don't think you're going to get anything for Jimmy G, man. Let's go to Hectic. Where would Devontae be a good fit? Any team that's trying to compete. Like, any team that believes that they are a wide receiver away from taking that next step can use Devontae Adams. I don't know if the Raiders would trade Devontae to the Kansas City Chiefs, but I could see the Kansas City Chiefs being a team that would I agree. I think it would be super dumb. But then again, I think a lot of the stuff the Raiders do is dumb. I think they're a very poorly ran franchise. And if McDaniels thinks that he could get 2 first-round picks, I don't know what to think of him. But any single team alive could use Devontae Adams because he is arguably the best receiver in the National Football League. Let's go to Alex. Raider Nation needs Caleb Williams out of USC. You guys have heard me say this before where I said before the year started that I would take Drake May over Caleb Williams. I don't know if I sit there anymore. Caleb Williams just looks that incredible as an overall player, as an overall talent. I would be curious, though, like if the Raiders had the number 1 overall pick, if Mark Davis was smart, he would make, what's his name? Head coach for USC. His name is escaping me. Lincoln Riley, the highest paid coach in the NFL. To bring in Lincoln Riley, you bring in Caleb Williams. I'll also say, though, I do still have a lot of confidence in Drake May, despite him not putting up the numbers that he maybe put up in years past, / compared to what Caleb Williams is doing. North Carolina's not spitting out a bunch of NFL talent compared to the way USC is doing it. Let's go to Dathan. Why are we not using Trey Tucker more? I don't have an answer for you. Right now, the Raiders are a football team that they drafted Trey Tucker, don't use him. Drafted Michael Mayer, don't use him. Tyree Wilson looks terrible. Nesta Jade Silvera did get some run yesterday, but he's been inactive for 3 games. Byron Young, he was inactive yesterday.
Chris
Smith has been inactive. Amari Burney has been inactive. Like, for a team that preaches the ability that we're trying to build some of these younger players, and yet they're never active, I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't want to believe that McDaniels is trying to personally sabotage the Raiders, but when you look at a lot of the shit that he's doing, it just doesn't make sense to me. And what's frustrating is I hate being the Raider fan that sits up here. I hate being a host of a show, and the amount of times that I sit up here and I say, I don't know. But that's where I'm at. I don't know what goes through McDaniels' mind.
Trace.
Super, super frustrating.
We have a Dathan.
What is
Dathan.
What is Dathan?
We have a Dathan.
What does that mean?
Guitar Hero legend, Dathan?
No, I think it's just another Dathan. We were at a bar. We were at a bar, and there was this guy shredding the guitar.
He was playing Hotline Bling on the guitar.
He was
nuts.
He was shredding.
And then Rolly hated it so much he unplugged it.
Yeah.
It's that. It might be.
I don't think it's that Dathan.
I don't think it's that Dathan either.
But this is the only other Dathan I've met. Rolly totally kicked the cord.
Totally. I don't know.
Last question.
Let's go to Drew. If we miss on Caleb, thoughts on Shador. Sorry.
Shador.
I mean, from a YouTube standpoint making content, I'll be real with y'all. Shador Sanders is an automatic so many eyeballs on the Raiders. Like, I think from what Jeremy and I do, from a selfish standpoint, if we wanted to make more money, Shador Sanders, you're going to get more eyeballs than anybody alive. From actually being able to execute an NFL offense, like Shador's probably not even in my top 6 or 7 quarterbacks that would come out in next year's draft. Like, I'd rather have Drake May, it's not close. Penix Jr., not close. Quinn Ewers, not close. I'm trying to think of some of the other guys in next year's class. Spencer Rattler might even be more talented.
Riley Leonard from Duke has gotten...
Riley Leonard is impressing me. I will admit, I got to watch more tape on him. He's passing some tests.
I know there's some Fighting Irish fans in here, so Sam Hartman has been a name that's been thrown out.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. Not a big Sam Hartman fan, though. I'll be real.
Yeah.
He's kind of like he's like an A.J. McCarron to me. He could have a good NFL career in terms of being a backup. Like, he's going to be on probably an NFL team for he might be like a Trevor Siemian. He might get one opportunity to start somewhere, and he might get a few games here, but for the majority of his career, he's going to be an NFL backup. That's how I look at Hartman from Notre Dame. All right, y'all, we got one more segment coming up here on the show, and then at the very, very end, we are going to do a duck race, and right now, the winner of that duck race would win $40. If you want to enter, $20 Venmo at Mitchell Renz 365. You can get out your camera, scan that bad boy. If you send in a 20 right now, you have a chance to win $50.
Not bad.
Not bad. The winner, if we did it right now, would win 40. The next person that enters, though, then you would have a chance to win 50. I think that's pretty good, man. I think that's pretty good. All right, y'all, so let's get into this next segment, and it's going to be around Aidan O'Connell and Jimmy Garoppolo in terms of who should the Raiders roll with for their next starting quarterback. I know that McDaniels already made the announcement, but hey, this show's about conversation after all. So let me get a sip here.
Glug.
Thank you for that.
A little coldy.
Yeah, a little coldy here.
Back-to-back coldies.
The people in the duck race, again, are Jeff, Cody, Davin, and then Jeremy Paul. So 4 people in the duck race so far. Chuggy Bull, you ready?
I'm ready.
Are you guys ready? Coming up here right now, we're going to settle a debate. Jimmy Garoppolo, Aidan O'Connell, who should be the Raiders' starting quarterback moving forward. Let me know down in the comments right now. Pick a starting quarterback for the Silver and Black. If you're going to go with Jimmy Garoppolo, I want you to type JG. If you're going to roll with the rookie, Aidan O'Connell, I want you to type AOC. Let's talk about it. That's what the Raiders Report is all about. I'm Mitchell Renz. You're watching the Raiders Report by Chat Sports. And coming up on the show, I'm going to answer who should be the Las Vegas Raiders starting quarterback moving forward? I know I told you all to spam AOC or JG. I'm going to give you my answer at the very, very end of today's show. But guess what? Josh McDaniels on Monday said this, that Jimmy Garoppolo will remain the team's starting quarterback after he clears the concussion protocol. There's probably going to be some people up here that say, Mitch, the show doesn't matter. McDaniels has already given his opinion. Guess what? I do not value Josh McDaniels' opinion at all because he's made a lot of decisions as a head coach of the Raiders. Doesn't mean that it's been the right one. Doesn't mean that it's been a good one. My idea of this show when we created it was how can we give the nation a voice? So when you watch a show like this, I want you to know that you have a voice, and I want it to be heard. In terms of comparing the two quarterbacks, Jimmy Garoppolo and Aidan O'Connell this season, this is what we got. Aidan, compared to Jimmy G, the completion percentage favors Garoppolo 68.1 compared to 61.5. Passing yards per game, that favors Aidan O'Connell, but slightly. The touchdown-to-interception ratio, Garoppolo 5-6, Aidan O'Connell 0-1. The overall QBR, that is not a typo, that is in fact the QBR for Aidan. It's 8.2, which is about as bad as it gets. The highest you can get is 100 on this one. From a fumbling standpoint, Aidan put the ball on the ground 3 times, 2 were lost. Jimmy Garoppolo has lost 1 fumble this season. So both quarterbacks have had some turnover issues. Both quarterbacks have, well, let's just call it, haven't played all that well. So coming up here on the Raiders Report, I'm going to give you my answer of who the Raiders should start at QB because I don't know if it should be Jimmy Garoppolo. I know some people think it should be Aidan O'Connell. Hell, I know some people out there are like, you know what, Mitch, I want to get Caleb Williams. I want to tank. If that's your mindset, then you should probably spam Brian Hoyer down below. But this is the biggest thing that I can get right now, Raider Nation to rally behind. I don't care if you want it to be Jimmy Garoppolo. I don't care if you wanted it to be Brian Hoyer. I don't care if you wanted it to be Aidan O'Connell. Every single person that's repping with the silver and black, I truly think this. Everybody wants Josh McDaniels to get fired. And I promise you, I'm going to do everything in my power so that the Raiders hear my voice, but I need all of y'all to rally behind me. Subscribe to the Raiders Report if you want the silver and black to fire Josh McDaniels. My opinion on who should be the Raiders starting quarterback is it needs to be Aidan O'Connell, and it needs to be AOC over Jimmy Garoppolo for the remainder of the season. And coming up here on the show, I'm going to lay out so many reasons why I do honestly believe that Aidan O'Connell gives this Raiders team a better opportunity to win football games. Notice that I said team, because the team is better with Aidan O'Connell. Aidan O'Connell, I get it. He fumbled 3 times. He lost 2 of them. And he had a terrible interception late in the game. All of those things are true. But when you start a rookie quarterback, you have to understand that you're going to take lumps. Yes, the game was on the road. Technically, you could consider it a home game. But up against a tough Chargers team. The other thing that I think people are just forgetting about is how many times O'Connell was pressured. How bad the offensive line played yesterday. It was by far the worst offensive line game of the season, and it's not close. He was sacked 7 times, 6 by Khalil Mack. Jimmy Garoppolo has been sacked 4 times in 3 games. Like, how are we not going to add that into the consideration a little bit? And, you know, I go on social media, I look around, and when I see certain tweets, when I see certain other content creators that I respect, and they give an opinion, and I'm like, man, I feel that. I got to do a better job of giving them a platform as well. My guy, Raider Honcho, he might not need one. He's got a hell of a YouTube channel as well. But when he said this, I felt it. Some of you guys are sick. Beg for a rookie to get the start after being inactive for weeks. Then he gets the start, and some of you want to throw him in the trash because he's struggling in his first game in a system that Derek Carr and Jimmy Garoppolo struggled in as vets. It's not Madden. He's 100% right. If you're going to put a rookie quarterback out there, you got to understand that you're going to take your lumps. But guess what? Jimmy Garoppolo has been bad, and I mean bad. And if Jimmy Garoppolo is going to get this long leash, why can't we give one to Aidan O'Connell? Because I have a lot of numbers that prove that the Raiders, in my personal opinion, from what I've seen so far this season, would be better off with AOC, Aidan O'Connell, than they would with Jimmy Garoppolo. And coming up here, here's every reason why McDaniels, if he was intelligent, would roll with Aidan, would roll with the stash. I know I look kind of silly rocking the stash. Fiance wants me to keep it. We'll see if we end up keeping it here. I know some of y'all probably think it's funny watching me with a mustache. Some of y'all probably enjoy comedy. If you do enjoy comedy, I have an amazing show sponsor for y'all. Shout out to Game Time. Last-minute ticket deals. Chuggs, he got lucky. He got the hookup. He went to Chappelle a few months ago. I didn't take advantage of the deal, and I'm kind of kicking myself in the butt for it here a little bit. But shout out to Game Time for sponsoring the Raiders Report. I know some of y'all who follow me on social media saw that I got my fiance, Alex, her dad, tickets to the Raiders-Cowboys preseason game. And if anybody out there needs an awesome app to be able to get tickets because, I don't know, you're traveling to Las Vegas, maybe you want to go watch a baseball game, maybe you want to go watch a basketball game, hockey, comedy, theater, they got a whole lot of amazing deals over on the Game Time app. So, Nation, create an account and redeem code RaidersChat for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Forget planning months in advance. Game Time has deals on tickets right up to the day of the event. Get exclusive flash deals on tickets for football, basketball, baseball, concert, comedy, theater, and a whole lot more. To me, it's the perfect app for buying tickets when you're planning on visiting Las Vegas. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code RaidersChat for $20 off first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code RaidersChat for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. The link for all y'all is going to be down in the comments. It's going to be in the description of today's show. I know how frustrating watching the Raiders can be. But you know what? Being in that Raider stadium around a bunch of other Raider fans, even if the Raiders are bad on the field, those experiences, creating memories is why I love Game Time. And Game Time is going to help you create a lot of amazing memories with a lot of amazing people. Take advantage of this deal that we got going on right now with them. $20 off with code RaidersChat. Here's the reason number one of why Aidan O'Connell should start. The Raiders team is better with AOC under center than Jimmy Garoppolo. But Mitch, the Raiders lost yesterday. You're right. The Raiders did lose yesterday, and it was a tough game to be able to watch, especially the way that it ended. But you know what? Your head coach, he put the rookie in a very difficult spot. And instead of encouraging him after the game, he decided to rip him down and shred him after Aidan knew that he struggled. But you know what I loved about Aidan? Even though he had a bad game leading up to it, he still put the Raiders in a spot to win. That takes a very mentally strong human being, and we need a very mentally strong quarterback. But let's look at just the first 4 weeks of the season. Week 1, Jimmy Garoppolo scored 17 points. Week 2, Jimmy G scored 10 points. Week 3, Jimmy Garoppolo scored 18. So you're telling me, and a veteran like Jimmy Garoppolo, who has had all these NFL starts underneath his belt, put up only 17 points, just like Aidan O'Connell did in his first NFL start. How many people out there think that the Denver Broncos are as good as the Los Angeles Chargers? The Denver Broncos had 70 points dropped on them. Jimmy G put up only 17. I get it. Aidan only put up 17 too, but he's a rookie. I think if you gave him a few more starts underneath his belt, he'd get better and better and better as well. Let's talk about yards this season. All right, Jimmy G, his first start this year with McDaniels, had 261. 240. Oh, but Mitchie had 362. If you watch this game right here, and this isn't just Jimmy Garoppolo yards, I'm talking total yards of offense, I should put that. So total yards of offense. The Raiders had so many garbage time yards in that fourth quarter against Pittsburgh because they were getting their shit pushed in for most of the game. But guess what? In the first game, Aidan O'Connell, the offense had more total yards than Jimmy Garoppolo against a superior opponent, against a team that sacked him 7 times. Let's then go to plays, because one of the things that was driving me nuts with this Raiders team was their inability to sustain drives, which then puts a lot more pressure on the defense. One of the things that's not being talked about enough is this Raiders defense played a lot better yesterday. It's probably the best game that I've seen them play in quite some time, but they were fresh, especially in the second half. And even though the Raiders had 3 costly turnovers, and even though they only put up 17 points, they were able to move the football. They were able to sustain drives. So to me, I'd be more willing to bet on a kid. Yeah, he had 3 bad turnovers. No doubt about it. But I believe in Aidan O'Connell's got the right head on his shoulders to be able to move on and continue to get better and better and better as the time goes on, because in his first game as a rookie against a superior opponent in the Los Angeles Chargers, a game that he got the shit kicked out of him, he was still able to put solid drives together, and if he doesn't turn over the football, the Raiders win that game pretty easily. And the Raiders' defense was better because the offense was able to sustain longer drives. So here's my opinion on Aidan. Despite 3 costly turnovers, Aidan O'Connell in his first NFL start moved the football better than Jimmy Garoppolo did in his first start with McDaniels, and he was sacked 7 times. O'Connell had a tougher matchup when comparing the Broncos and Chargers, so I believe that the Raiders should give AOC another shot. If you want to be heard, here's your opportunity. Like the video right now if you don't think it matters who starts at quarterback, because McDaniels, he still stinks. I see people freaking out because they don't care anymore about watching this Raiders game. They don't care about watching the Raiders anymore, which breaks my heart a little bit because no matter what, I'm going to be here every game day. Monday, Sunday, Thursday, it don't matter. I'm going to be live multiple times a week because I bleed silver and black, and I love this team. There's no doubt about it. But I get how frustrating it can be. And I understand that a lot of people are like, Mitch, it doesn't matter if it's Jimmy Garoppolo, if it's Aidan O'Connell, if it's Brian Hoyer. Josh McDaniels sucks. If you think McDaniels sucks, click that like button. Let's go to reason number 2 here of why AOC should start. Josh Jacobs finally got it going against the Chargers. And I get it. The Chargers probably have a defense that you can run on, and Jacobs has a good history of going up against the Chargers. But also on top of that, the defenses weren't able to stack the box as much. And go back, watch the film. The Chargers defense respected Aidan O'Connell's ability. I get it. He didn't take many deep shots. That also is kind of on, Josh McDaniels here a little bit. He took a few deep shots, but they weren't able to stack the box. And Jacobs finally was able to get it going, and I think one of the reasons why the Raiders were able to move the football, because they did, they moved the football. They just didn't put up points because of the turnovers there, which, again, that's kind of what that game was yesterday. But when you get Josh Jacobs going, it opens up your entire offense. And I am a believer, if you open it up with Jacobs, it's going to open it up with more and more and more because there's going to be more chemistry for AOC and this team overall. I mean, look at these Jacobs total yards. Weeks 1, 2, and 3, that's what Jimmy Garoppolo. No touchdowns. 71, 49, 80 total yards. Jacobs with Aidan O'Connell, 139 yards of total offense. Yes, AOC used him as a check down, but I'm okay with that. I am never against putting the ball in one of your best playmakers' hands. Like, it's Devontae Adams, it's Josh Jacobs. Those are your 2 most talented players on the offensive side of the football that are actually skill position players. So, it was Jacobs, and guess what? It was Devontae yesterday. Give the rookie more time. He's going to be able to build up some extra chemistry with some of those other players. And then this is the final reason, and honestly, the biggest reason. Jimmy Garoppolo will never be the future of the Las Vegas Raiders. He's never going to be the future. Aidan O'Connell has at least a shot. Do I think that the Raiders should probably draft a QB next season because they're going to be in a spot to draft one? Yeah, I do. But I do not like the idea of just playing Garoppolo just because he's McDaniels' guy. Here's the heartbreaking news. If you play Jimmy Garoppolo for every single game this season, the Raiders aren't making the playoffs. And if you think the Raiders are going to make the playoffs with Jimmy Garoppolo, I feel bad for you. I do. I think you got to be able to look yourself in the mirror and say, with Jimmy G, at best, this Raiders team's winning 7, 8 games this season. At best. And you know what? If it's at best even that with Aidan O'Connell, I'm okay with that. Because Aidan has at least the opportunity to be the quarterback of the future. I don't think he's going to be the quarterback of the future, but he has a chance to be. And this season, if we're going to treat it like a throwaway year, because if McDaniels can go out there and just do whatever the hell he wants and it doesn't matter because he's never going to get fired, then this is a throwaway season. Play the rookie. See what you got in him. It's never going to be Jimmy, so you might as well see what you got. And once the Raiders do finally realize, okay, if they're in a situation where they have to fire McDaniels because of how bad they are, let's say they have a top 5 pick, God, I hope they bring in a new freaking head coach, because I would not trust Josh McDaniels to be able to go out and pick the right quarterback for the job. It actually scares me. I wonder if the Raiders had the number 1 overall pick in the 2024 NFL draft, if they would pass on Caleb Williams. That's how crazy I think McDaniels is. And Mark Davis has to be able to realize that if there was one head coach in the NFL right now to pass on Caleb Williams, it would be McDaniels, because McDaniels does what McDaniels wants to do. There's just way too many other talented quarterbacks in the 2024 draft class. The Raiders have to realize you got to get somebody. Maybe it's a Caleb Williams. Maybe it's a Drake May. To me, those are your top 2 options, and then you can go plan accordingly. So if you're team tank, then maybe starting Jimmy Garoppolo is a move that you want. But if you're like, really want Caleb Williams and you really want Drake May, then Brian Hoyer's the option. I didn't even put Brian Hoyer on this show because when the Raiders signed Hoyer this offseason, I said to every single person watching that Hoyer's not the quarterback 2. He's the quarterback 2 on paper, but when Jimmy Garoppolo gets hurt, it was going to be Aidan O'Connell's season because that's just what McDaniels does. Again, McDaniels is so easy to be able to figure out what he's going to end up doing. But as it stands right now, the 2024 NFL draft order is this. Chicago Bears at number 1. The Chicago Bears at number 2 via Carolina. Then the Raiders. Then the Broncos. Then the Minnesota Vikings. The reason why it's this is the strength of schedule. When it comes down to week 7, when the Raiders play the Bears, if the Raiders lose to the Packers, and if the Raiders lose to the Patriots in week 5 and 6, I'm telling you right now, there's going to be a bunch of Raider fans out there, and I don't know if I blame you, rooting that LA or LV ends up losing to Chicago because it really could be the Caleb Williams Bowl. So I think we can all agree on this, though. Some people are going to want Jimmy Garoppolo to start. Some people are going to want Aidan O'Connell to start. There's probably even some people out there, like I said, that want Brian Hoyer to start. But I think we can all agree that the Raiders hopefully have a new head coach and a new franchise quarterback next season. I know it's not going to be Jimmy Garoppolo. Shit, maybe it's Aidan O'Connell. I don't think it's going to happen. But all I want is to win. And I just want commitment to excellence from Mark Davis to my head coach all the way down. And I don't think that's a lot to ask for. All right, name a college quarterback the Raiders should keep an eye out for. I know everybody and their brother is going to say Caleb Williams, so let's see how this goes. Also, the Raiders just signed somebody to the practice squad, and I don't even know how to pronounce his name.
Go live.
It's a tight end position that the Raiders need. Noah Togiai. The guy?
Togiai?
I have no idea.
Lance.
What up, Lance?
Did the Jets offer more for Rodgers than we did? What was the Raiders' offer to get him in the offseason?
I don't know if they ever did offer anything. Like, that's the crazy part about it. Aaron Rodgers wanted to be a member of the Las Vegas Raiders. And instead, McDaniels said, you know what? I'm going to go get Jimmy Garoppolo. I get it. Aaron Rodgers tore his Achilles, and it's a terrible injury. But I don't know if he tears that Achilles if he's with the Raiders because every situation is different. That game with the Jets and Buffalo, it was rainy, it was crappy. MetLife Stadium has a notorious history for having severe injuries on top of that. So, but that's the type of head coach you have. You have a type of head coach that says, I'd rather roll with Jimmy Garoppolo instead of Aaron Rodgers. And that's a problem. That's the God complex. What up, Aggressive Master Raider? Love the new pick. The stash looks like you're dating Taylor Swift. The only reason, again, I love my fiance. I wouldn't change anything. I would date Taylor Swift for that bank account, though. That would be a nice bank account. Wouldn't mind it. But then again, she'd write a song about me. People would hate me. Be an ugly thing. Let's go to Wrong Way. What does it matter if we get the number 1 pick, Josh McDaniels as head coach? I actually believe that if the Raiders had the number 1 overall pick, that McDaniels wouldn't be the head coach. I know a few people in that Raiders front office that the reason why McDaniels isn't going to get fired is pushed out there is because they don't believe that they even have the ability to have the number 1 overall pick. And from people that I've talked to, if the Raiders do end up having that number 1 overall pick, I do think it's a situation where I know the front office actually loves Dave Ziegler, where you could have a situation where they get rid of McDaniels, but they end up keeping Dave Ziegler because of the contract.
Wrong Way sent in the second one. Basically what you're answering right now, will they fire Josh McDaniels if they get
I think if they have the number 1 overall pick, they will fire Josh McDaniels. And if they say, no, we're going to let McDaniels pick a quarterback, I just think that's crazy. Like, I literally think that's clinically insane. I can't imagine that they would do it. But then again, I don't know what the Raiders, right? What up, Silverface? Love the content, guys. I'm not surprised New McDaniels wasn't the truth, remembering last year losing to the Saints. And Saturday, I was done with this guy since then. None of us should be surprised. And, you know, one of the things that I'm going to try to do, and I always tell myself that I'm going to do a better job with it, is, you know, keep my emotions in so much where I just show my anger, but I just put so much into the show. Jeremy put so much into the show. You guys put so much into the show that emotion's going to come out, and the emotion comes out when people are just that freaking frustrated. Am I surprised with McDaniels? No, of course not. Anybody that's watched this show knows that I'm not a McDaniels believer. I have never been a McDaniels believer. I never will be a McDaniels believer. The only way I'll believe is if they actually make the playoffs. That's the only way I'm ever going to believe in the guy. And I just don't think that that's going to happen. What up, Solomon? Swift shit is so annoying. My sister only wants to go to the Christmas game because of her. Shake my head. My dad and I have gone to Raiders at Chiefs for the past 10 years, and we are 1-9 at Arrowhead. But F it, Raider Nation for life. Hell yeah, man. 2021, that was a legendary game. There's no doubt about it. I understand that the Swiftie shit can get annoying, but hey, if your sister wants to go to the game, create more memories. That's what family's all about. Who's your favorite quarterback in this draft outside of Caleb Williams and Drake May? My top 10 quarterbacks, if you could show the list real quick, I'd say probably Michael Penix Jr. out of Washington, though I'll also admit I'm always worried with the lefties. Lefties scare me a little bit because it is a different trajectory. It's a totally different style of football. But I would probably say Michael Penix Jr. Quinn Ewers, I do think, has a lot of upside. Shedeur Sanders would give me the best numbers. J.J. McCarthy has upside, but I don't think McCarthy's honestly going to be a good NFL quarterback. Bo Nix, no. Spencer Rattler has talent, but he's a knucklehead to me, and I don't think he'll succeed. Jaden Daniels needs to be put in the right system. And then Riley Leonard. I mean, Chuggs and I were mentioning him earlier. I got to see more on him. Riley Leonard, though, is definitely intriguing.
Unfortunately, he got hurt this past weekend.
Yeah,
so
I don't follow college football enough.
I don't know how much we'll see. I don't know the extent of the injury. I just know he got hurt at the end of that Notre Dame Duke game.
I got you. All right, y'all, which means the only thing left for Chuggs and I is a duck race. And we just got a new entry. Phillip, you in. So right now, the winner gets $50. Winner gets $50 here on the Raiders Report. If another person enters, then you have a chance to win $60. I said that I wouldn't mind Quinn Ewers to the Raiders if I couldn't get Drake May or Caleb Williams. Like, Quinn Ewers to me, he's got so much upside. Like, Quinn Ewers to me can be Justin Herbert from an arm talent standpoint. He could also be Jay Cutler. And I think that's a fair. You just never know what you're going to get. Though Quinn has definitely raised his stock with me this year. I can't wait to watch this weekend's game. This weekend's game, Oklahoma, Texas, is, I'm telling y'all right now, it's one of the craziest rivalries I've ever been around since living down here in Dallas, man. It's kind of nuts. Final opportunity to get in our 50-50 raffle duck race here on the Raiders Report. You can get out your camera. You can scan that QR code. If you don't know what the QR code is, it's the thing that's got my picture inside of it. Or you can Venmo me at Mitchell Renz 365. The winner of this duck race right now will go home with $50. Not bad. Yesterday, Fat Bearded Dad won $1,000. And then also, we had Jesus. He won $550. So we do, Hellcat says, hold on, I'm about to go in. All right, Hellcat.
Are we talking about the raffle?
Oh, yeah, true. Are we the raffle, Hellcat, or something else? I don't know. You never know with Hellcat Q. Hellcat probably just wants Dice Game to come back. Though I kind of like the duck race more, Hellcat. I'm not going to lie to you, man. Sherry Lynn, what's up, y'all? Chad Smith, how long is Tillery out? He's going to get suspended. I think Jerry Tillery ends up getting suspended. All right, we got another one from, we got two. All right, put a Hellcat Q in, and then Matthew C. So right now, winner would go home with $70. If you're the next person to enter, if you're the next one to enter, then we go up to 80. We're going to leave the clock on for 60 more seconds, and if we don't get anything else in 60 seconds, the race will be with Jeff, Jeremy Paul, Cody L, Davin L, Philip B, Hellcat Q, and then Matthew C. Wait a minute. I think I just got another one. I think we did. Chris, you in. Chris M in, and then Ash B in. So right now, the winner, how many do we have? Oh, man, Luis in.
Oh, whoa.
What?
Oh, nothing. They're coming in.
Now they're rolling in. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Is that math correct? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I can't count. So right now the winner would go home with $100. It's pretty good.
All right.
I think I just got another friend request here. Herson. All right, 20 seconds. We have 10 people in the race as it stands right now. Herson, you in. Winner goes home with $110. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, y'all. Who is ready for a duck race? I just got another friend request. Jose. Just in case. Jose, I'm going to give you 10. We're going to give you 10 seconds. If Jose is in, you guys with these last second.
How many more did we just get?
We just got 2 more last second friend requests. Last second friend request.
You're killing me.
You're killing me, Smalls. I don't know. Jose's not in yet. I don't have anything from Jose. And I just got another friend request. But you know what? I think it's time to get this thing quacking along here. Herson's the last one. I will allow the people that just friend requested me to get in, but then you guys are done. P. Deddy. Javon. Yep, okay. We just got another one. Javon, you in. Hopefully I pronounced that name right. Yep, Javon C., you in. So that puts us at 1, 2, so we were at 10, 12. So right now the person would go home with $112.
Yes.
Or $120, excuse me. $120 to the winner of this duck race here. You know, Javon got it in. I think we get this thing going. Let's go. We waited long enough.
I'll give you 5.
5
4,
what?
4, 3, 2, 1. All right.
All right. William, you just added me as a friend. You might have to wait until next week unless you can get it in before Jeremy and I say go on here. So let's show Jeremy what the race looks like as it stands right now. We got Javon, Herson, Luis Rodriguez, Ash B, Chris M, Matthew C, Hellcat Q. I want to say that next name is Philip. Yep, Philip. And then Davin Lopez, Cody Lowry, Jeremy Paul, and Jeff Chapp, who's the one that got this started. All right, I don't got any other Venmos here. So that means without further ado, we're doing a 51-second. Why 51? F it, 51-second race. Okay, starting in 3, 2, winner gets $120. 1, go! And off to the race here. And Chris M. and Matthew C. got an early lead, but watch out for Luis Rodriguez in that helmet. Javon C. and Herson, they're just hanging out in the back. Jeremy Paul, I'm telling you this, usually the ones that start in the back are the ones that end up getting the win. Philip Bogart, Davin Lopez, Hellcat Q bringing up the rear. Chap also back there. Luis Rodriguez, though, 26 seconds to go. I think right now Jeremy Paul's got the lead. Watch out for Cody Lowry and Herson. Starting to pull up. Herson's got an advantage. He's got a hell of a beak. Ashby looks way too old to be running this race, but right now it's Jeremy Paul with a very comfortable lead. 10 seconds to go. Winner gets $120, but wait, is it going to be Davin Lopez? Is it going to be Luis Rodriguez? Pulling up here at the very end, and it is Luis Rodriguez. What an incredible race. Luis Rodriguez, you, my good friend, are the winner of the duck race. But you know what's funny? I just realized Luis has also won another time this year. He won $250. Wait, Luis, let me go back. Wait, Luis, let me send you this moolah. Quack, quack. Luis is like, bro, I'm getting in every week right now.
Who was it that won twice in a row?
Trivan.
No. I thought there was another person who won a jersey and a...
Oh, that might have been, was that Nate? I'm punchy. There was somebody, who was the one, they're like, I win every time. I think, or maybe it was Dank Dank. I think it was Dank Dank.
Dude, I don't know why, but now I'm getting some ads popping up. We might...
Yeah, we gotta
pay. We need to pay for the
we gotta buy it. So 10 days ago, Luis Rodriguez won $10. Yep. Though you got to give Luis credit. Luis has entered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Luis says he just got the vid. Hey, the only YouTube show that you make money watching, Luis. That's a fact.
Martin says Luis equals Trivan. No.
Rebel, you forgot me. Did you win twice? Did Rebel win twice?
Did Rebel win twice? I don't know. I don't know. Rebel. Are you saying no, Rebel, I think you were in there. Unless you're talking about the race. Yeah, no, we had everybody in there, Rebel.
Husker says, Chuggs, I sent in that hundo for you guys to buy the subscription.
We're gonna get, don't worry, we're gonna get the updated version of this duck race, and then we can do a lot more wild and crazy shit here on the Raiders Report.
Oh, Rebel said I won a duck race.
Okay, I was gonna say, Rebel, there's a few names that I know now, like I know Hellcat's real name, like when I saw it pop up. You know, I know it's Hellcat Q. There's just certain people that I get to know, but Luis Rodriguez was the winner. He's played now 6 or 7 times, and he's won.
Jeffrey says double or nothing. Hey, tomorrow we'll play. Maybe we go a little bit. Maybe we do the 10 tomorrow.
I mean, for everybody watching, if we did right now a $40 to get in duck race, would you do it? Or we don't have the graphic for it. Yeah, I don't think we have the graphic for it. How about this? Tomorrow, Jeffrey, we'll do another duck race tomorrow. We'll do a $10 entry to get in. That way we can get more ducks, so we're not ducking around here.
Hellcat Jeffrey said yes. He said, I will do it now.
Who said that?
Hellcat and Jeffrey. If we can get 2 other people to say yes, I'll run a race.
All right. If we can get 2 other people right now to run another race, we'll do it. Also, I just saw the comment, Silverface. It's good to know who it is now. It's good to know. If you want to do another one, Jeffrey says he's in for another race. Is anybody else right now in for another race? Luis Rodriguez says, F it, let's run it. So that's 2.
Hellcat said he'll do it.
Big C562 says in. All right, so here we go. $20 to get in, or do we do high stakes?
He said double or nothing. He said $40 to get in.
$40 to get in. Let's do it. Double or nothing. $40 to get in the duck race. At Mitchell Renz 365 here on Venmo. 1 more duck race. King Richardson said better odds. Yeah, you're not wrong. Better odds. Better odds. At Mitchell Renz 365. Duck race time. I know what it says on screen. $20.
40.
It's $40 to get in. Double
40.
or nothing.
We're going double or nothing per Jeffrey and Hellcat Q.
No surprise, Luis Rodriguez. He's in. The first duck in the race is the one who won last time. Luis Rodriguez, you in. So now we just got to wait on everyone else. Hellcat Q, in. Jeff Chap, you in.
All right, I'm going to put, because somebody else actually does have to use the studio today.
Fair enough.
I'm going to put a
All right,
stopwatch on. I'm going to give y'all a minute and 15 seconds, a minute and 20 seconds to get in.
So right now we got 3 people in, so that's 80, 120. Winner would go home with $60. So right now you would make $20 for the people that just put the money in. So Jeff, Hellcat, and Luis, are there anybody else that will enter? I don't know.
Big Z562 says in.
All right, Big Z. Let's go. We only got 3 people in. I see Chris M. We'll see what ends up happening here. Jeff says, my heart is racing, so much excitement. That's what the duck race will do to you. The duck race, it'll amp you up a little bit. I only have 3 people in, so.
All right, 30 seconds left.
Big Z, Chris M. $40 to get in.
A 3-duck race. Wow, that's kind of
Dude, a
electric.
3-duck race would be pretty intense. $40 to get in at Mitchell Renz 365. Who do you think? Who are you guys going with? Are you going to go with Jeff? Hellcat Q. Chris is in. Chris M is in.
All right.
So right now, winner gets
$80.
$80, double the money. If we get another person in, be 100. Hey, just saying. So right now it's between, if you're going to go with Chris, type C. If you're going to go with Jeff, type J. If you're going to go with Hellcat Q, type Q. Or if you're going to go with Luis Rodriguez, type L. Who's going to get the win in the duck race? Winner goes home with $80. Woo! Sherry Lynn's going to go with Hellcat. P. Diddy. P. Daddy says J. Martin, pimp my duck. Could be a great show. L for Taino Raider. Martin's going to go with Hellcat Q. Right now, here is the race. It is between Hellcat Q, Luis Rodriguez, Chris M. And then also, we got Jeff Chap. 4-way duck race. And Jeremy, I think those are all of our participants. Winner of this race gets $80, so you make $40 out of it. If Luis Rodriguez wins, he just might be the luckiest duck around. We'll see. You guys ready? You ready?
Oh, John Borelli in the chat.
Borelli, if you won in the duck race, $40 Venmo, and you have a chance to win $100. $40 Venmo, chance to win $100.
Borelli, give me a Y for yes and for no. Are you interested?
We'll leave, if Mount Raider Moore wants in, you got a 25% chance right now to win $80. If Borelli joins, then it goes all the way up. And you get 20% chance to win $100. It's getting juicy. Everybody say what's up to Mount Raider Moore legend, John Borelli. Borelli says, nah, let the people play.
Let the boy watch.
Oh, man, that's true. Aggressive Master Raider just said, he just said.
Hellcat has the McDaniels duck.
Yikes. All right, hang on a second here.
Oh, my goodness.
Guess what? We got 2 more entrants. I just got one from Michael Hill. Michael, you in. And here's the problem. We got to switch up a name. Because I just got one from another person named Chris M.
So what do you want this
But
next one?
the original Chris M was Chris Melendez. M-E. M-E.
Oh.
Yeah. Michael Hill, M-E-L. Yep, I think that'll work. And then the other one's Chris M.
Just Chris M?
Just Chris M on Venmo. Correct.
Okay.
All right, which now means the pot is up to, math is not my strong suit. What's 6 times 40? 240. Winner gets,
$120.
winner would get $120. Right? Does that math check out? Yeah, the math checks out.
All right, I'm going to shuffle the characters a couple times.
Winner gets $120. So you're going to triple your money here. 1 out of 6 chance. Jeremy.
Ducks.
Oh, wait. Sean, you sent in 20. Sean, you got to send in another 20. If you don't want in, Sean, just tell me and we'll back you out of it. Sean just sent in a 20. Sean Navarro, who has done the duck races before. Sean, if you want in.
Yeah, we didn't have the graphic, but they wanted to do double or nothing, Sean.
Correct. That's why it's 40 seconds. So, Sean, if you want in, you got to send in another 20. What's more electric than duck races? I don't know. I don't know what's more electric. I'm telling you, we might just do this every single week. Sean, I need to know what you want. He wants in. And I don't know if he's going to send in the other 20. I don't know.
Just send him the 20 back and say need 40 for the race.
All right, fair enough. Hang on. Let me send this back to you, Sean. Need 40 for the race.
Sean, I see you in the chat. We'll wait for you for a second. Don't worry.
All right, Sean, I just sent you back $20. Okay? I just sent you back $20, Sean. So, Sean, if you want in, it's a 40. We're going to put 60 seconds on the clock, and then we're going to run this freaking thing. 60 seconds on the clock, and then we're going to run this race, whether Sean wants in or not. Sean says doesn't work, telling me to slow down. I don't know what that means. So
maybe because he tried to send them back to back.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I don't know, Sean. I don't know.
Silverface says, "Come on, Sean."
All right, y'all. Sean, I'll give you a little bit more time. Sean, are you in or you out? Silverface, let's freaking go. I'm not getting it. You know what, Sean? We're going to run the race.
He says, "I'm in."
Well, you got to send the 40. 40 on Venmo. At Mitchell Renz 365. If that ends up happening, 40 times 7 is 280. Winner gets 140. Winner would end up getting 140. I don't know. Sean's in. Sean is in. Winner gets $140 doll hairs.
And lucky number 7.
Lucky number 7. Good luck.
Shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. All right.
One more shuffle. Nice. I like when they're different. All right, here we go. Starting at 3, 2. Winner gets $140. Go! And off to an early lead, it's Chris Mell, who does look a little bit like Josh McDaniels. But Michael Hill down below in the cheetah gear. You always know, Michael Hill definitely looks good in some cheetah spandex. Chris M at the top there. Honestly, watch out for Hellcat Q. Watch out for Jeff Chapp. Luis Rodriguez was the winner of our last one. And Luis Rodriguez started to fall back a little bit. Oh, man, down at the bottom, number 7. He's just getting too old. It's Chris Mell about to walk away with this one. Or is it going to be Chapp? Is it going to be Luis Rodriguez? But wait, down at the bottom, Navarro, what a comeback! Oh my goodness, what a comeback for Sean Navarro, lucky number 7. He took all that time to get it in, and he ends up winning $140.
Wow.
And of course, the first person rigged.
No matter what we do.
Oh, Sean Navarro. All right, Sean. How many times has Sean participated in a duck race? Sean has participated in a few duck races. His first one he sent to me was Silky. His other comment was F. McDaniels. And now he is a winner. And now he is a winner of $140.
Dude.
Electric.
Absolutely insane.
Quack, quack to Mr. Sean. Sean, I need you to comment down below that you received the Venmo because I just sent it.
He said, boys, we're going to Chili's.
He's like, F Chili. We're getting steak. Congratulations to Sean.
Oh, God.
Appreciate everybody for playing and participating. Sean, if you could just comment below that you got it, but I can show you all up. Oh, sorry, up on here that I did send it to him. Sean says he got it, which now means it's time for Jeremy and I to get on out of here. We'll be back tomorrow live here. Triple or not? No, I can't.
Today.
Not today. If you watch our Thursday shows, though, we get pretty wild with some duck races.
Hellcat says okay, just come back tomorrow. We're going to do more duck races tomorrow.
Unfortunately, we got to get out of here.
Triple.
We got to get out of here. So, all right.
We want triple.
Did we do it?
Oh, my.
$100.
We really got to go.
2 minutes.
I'll put 1 minute on the clock.
1 minute on the clock. $100 Venmo at Mitchell Renz 365 if you want in.
Marshall's actually going to kill me, though.
I know he is. What time does he actually have to get in here?
They're going live at 6:15.
Oh, yeah, we got time.
I have to cut everything, though.
Oh, shit, you do. 60 seconds. Put it on your timer right now. I'm telling you, 60 seconds on the clock, $100 Venmo to get in the final duck race. To get in the final one. If you want in, it's got to be 100. As soon as that timer hits 0.
We have to hit 3 people. If only 2 people join, we're just going to send you your money back.
Correct.
Because
it's got to be 3. It's got to be 3. Jeffrey says, I'll do 100. I'll eat oatmeal the rest of the month. We got to get 3 people. So we got Hellcat. We got Jeff. I don't know if they're going to actually do it. Venmo, Mitchell Renz 365, including a bang. You got it. You send in 100. We're banging, and you're in the duck race. We'll see. I don't know, man. Okay, boys.
10 seconds.
10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I didn't get any.
All right.
So that means the next time that you guys see us, we're going to be live here tomorrow. Jeff, I'm just going to send it back. Jeff just sent me a hundo.
Yeah.
Jeff, I'll send it back. I know, Jeff. I know, but nobody else did it. Jeff, hang on.
Rebel, that's actually true.
What?
This is, out of all the times we said it.
Yep.
Marshall does, in fact, want us to go home.
Sorry, Jeff. I'm going to pay you back here. I appreciate that you tried, Jeff. I really do.
Stick around tomorrow. We'll do more duck races. We'll have more time because there won't be any shows after us.
Correct. We'll have more time tomorrow. We're going to have a lot of time on Thursday. Jeff, just confirm that I sent you your money back. Sound good? I sent you your money back.
Jeff, did you get it back?
He did.
Okay.
All right, cool. All right, y'all. Peace out. I'll see you guys tomorrow here on the Raiders Report, 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Appreciate everyone tuning in. What?
Oatmeal.
All right, y'all. Cheers. Fire Josh McDaniels.